yeah, like a deep run tournament team, just because we don't have a lot of high end guys. Usually, you have to have like top four,
Nice. Yeah.
top three guys. Yeah, we have a lot of guys like going into the season. We had one guy who was round of 12 the season prior who were like, okay, this guy, you know, if he's focused, he can medal. He doesn't really like wrestling, so we're like, he's kind of iffy. And then we were like, well, maybe if we get lucky, we can get a couple other medals. So like, moonshot, we get 3 to 4 medals. But realistic base case, like we're gonna be fighting for one. And so you kind of know like going into the season, like you, you're fighting for maybe a mid to low medal. Um, but also you don't know how certain weights are going to shake out. So that's the other part of it, I guess. But yeah, we ended up getting like 3 low medals,
That's pretty good still.
and
Placing three.
our yeah, no, it was good. I mean, none of them were seeded or ranked to place. So you know, if you're doing the seed to place ratio, we're in the plus column. But we ended up taking 11th.
Okay. Nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it was. I think somebody asked me before the tournament, and I feel like I have to be the team. Actually, I think Tori might be more of the team optimist now than I am. But I'm normally I play the
Oh, big
optimist. I'm
time.
like,
Yeah.
we could get 6 or we could get 0. I think
Yeah.
Everett asked me that, and I was like just kind of just depending on what happens because we had an 8 seed who had a pretty tough draw and he ended up going 0 and 2. And then we had a guy in the round of 12. And then we had another kid at one point that was, I think, ranked as high as maybe 7, um, who ended up losing in the round 16 on the backside. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
but it was fun. I mean, I don't know. I had fun. I had a fun year. I don't know about you, Carla, but it was a good time.
It was a
That's
fun year.
a strong finish. I mean, the state's so big and so competitive. It's like, well, you don't wrestle everyone throughout the year. So it's like there's always some kids, some teams you don't know where they're really at. And like you said, your guy might be fifth or 12th, around 12. Kind of tough
Yeah.
to gauge.
The dynamic's different too. Yeah, I was talking about this on the last podcast I was on. California wrestling might be the best wrestling state right now in terms of like state tournament. Buchanan's, ranked first in the country, and I think who's six? I think it's Bosco. Bosco's ranked six. Howey's ranked ninth, and then you have like Clovis North, Esperanza, and Gilroy. All other, they're ranked somewhere between 11 and 25. So there's just a lot of depth. Like placing at the California state tournaments, like it's not what it used to be. It's tough. Not that it wasn't tough before.
Sure. No, I don't follow as closely anymore, but just kind of see a lot of guys that are doing well and I guess doing well nationally as well. So it's like all the guys are high end across the board. It's not like you could see some guys that were good at the state level, but maybe not competitive on the national level. It seems like a lot of them, if they're good at the state level, they're competitive at the national level almost automatically. You can almost correlate it.
I'd say
Yeah.
like the top 5 medalists, I'd say at pretty much every weight is probably going to be, round of 12 at like a high school nationals or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Some weights are like 4 or 5 deep, like all nationally ranked guys. I know
Um,
like at Gabe Estrada's weight, he lost to like the number 9 guy in the country, and that guy took third, barely.
Yeah. And then if you look at, I think just looking at the weight itself, I mean, there's, I think, 8 or 9 returning state medalists at 138 this last year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a deep weight. Same thing with 44s. 44s is a deep weight. 32s is deep. 20s had 3 nationally ranked guys. One like 2, 3, and 4, something like that.
Yeah.
yeah. What
And
else?
are
What
you
else did
guys
I?
are you guys doing freestyle soon once McAnally's done or what?
Yeah, we'll kick off freestyle here. Not this week, but I think the following week we'll start. We're doing a small we do like a kickoff clinic right before we get into like any of the season. So just like a free clinic for anyone to come check it out. We try to bribe them with pizza after just to get new kids to come out.
Man,
That's a
you're
good
back doing
idea.
coaching?
Very little. I've been helping with our freestyle program the last couple of years. So a couple nights a week. I think we go like 8, 9 weeks out of the year, out of the spring. Nothing too crazy.
Okay.
And Max is kind of at the center of it, right? And then you have a bunch
Yeah,
of
Max
like
McAnally's the head coach. The rest of us are assistants.
but it's
No
like you
way.
and a few other Minnesota alumni and stuff, right?
Yeah, we got a good crew there, and the rest of us just kind of help out as we can. Most of the time we're there, all of us, but if someone can't make it, there's plenty of us helping out. So
That's kind of a joke, right? Max McAnally is the head coach.
he
That's
is.
that's the
Why is
okay.
that
It's
a
awesome.
joke?
He's the superstar. We're just there to support,
Got it.
you know.
So wait, does he not get a break then? It's like after the national tournament, it's like, all right, it's time to run your club.
You know, he shows up as much as he can, but it's like obviously once he starts competing his freestyle season, it's like, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll cover what you can't show up. But he genuinely likes coming. I mean, he's from town here, he's from Waconia, so he likes coming back and giving back, and everyone loves him around here. So it works out great. I mean, shoot, we told him we're like, hey, you don't feel like you have to come back and help. Like you have other things to worry about. And he's like, no, I want to come back. We're like, all right.
What's the name
Dude,
of the club?
Minnesota's sorry, go ahead.
No,
What's
I
the
was
name of
just
the
gonna
club?
say what the name of the club is.
Yeah, it's Waconia Freestyle Wrestling Club.
Onio. Minnesota has been churning out some athletes lately. I mean, it's been a while. They've been doing it for a while with like, Gable Stevenson and who is it, Kirk Levitt. But like Landon Robidoux and
Mhm.
McAnally, dude, they're obviously really good at wrestling, but they're also freaks. They're like fast, strong, explosive, can change direction. Like
Yeah.
we don't. They're like rare
Like Michael
athlete
Myers
levels.
freaks almost.
Uh,
Yeah, there's a good crew of Minnesota kids at the college level right now. D1, Joey Novak, from Wyoming. He's a Minnesota kid.
okay,
Uh, who else is
he's
probably highly ranked?
tough. He's good, but I wouldn't consider him an athlete.
No, he's a better wrestler probably than athlete, but he's good.
Yeah, gritty, technical, knows
Yep,
positions real well.
yep, good. Scrambly can ride.
He's
Um,
awkward. He's
Yeah,
awkward to
yep,
can
wrestle.
scramble.
yeah.
Yeah,
He was
Uh,
Max's last high school loss, if I'm not mistaken. But he was good. I remember him in high school.
you got
yeah.
Jory Volk, right? Jory Volk's from
Jory,
Minnesota.
Jory Biskins, NC State.
Biskins. I didn't know he was a Minnesota guy.
Yeah, he's a Minnesota kid.
Okay,
There's a few others. I'm sure I'm forgetting, but
dude, Minnesota's representing this year.
Hmm.
They're gonna for sure. Well, I don't know if they're gonna beat California with All Americans. They probably will. They'll definitely have higher All Americans than California.
they could. Some of those weights are competitive though. I mean, 84 so competitive, 25 so competitive. Like, you know, who knows how those are going to shake out? Those are
I mean,
tough.
he's gonna AA. It's just how high. Like we have. I think when I looked at the ranked California guys, there's a bunch of guys who are like in the 7 to 8 to 9 range, and nobody's super high.
Yeah, who's the
Yeah,
highest?
Brock is the five, maybe.
yeah, he's the highest, I think.
Nico? Was Nico six?
Oh, Nico's
Ruiz?
4, so Nico's the highest. So
Oh yeah.
Nico,
Nico. Yeah.
Brock, and then what's his face from Oklahoma State at 97s?
Kobe
Merrill.
Merrill.
Merrill
Cody
7,
Merrill.
and I think everybody else is like 9, 10 range, like Aiden Valencia and a bunch of other
Yeah.
guys who are like kind of in that same
A
range.
lot of qualifiers. I think I saw 23. That's a lot.
Yeah, and I think it's going to keep going up for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I think the quality of California kid we're sending into college right now is just, like I said, the California State tournament is deep. We have so many nationally ranked guys now because we have so many nationally ranked teams. Um, and you're going to see probably a little influx of NCAA qualifiers and hopefully all Americans too. But it's going to be that way for a couple of years probably.
There's like really established regions in California where it's like one or two, like I don't want to say super teams, but very competitive teams.
No, they're super teams. You can say that.
Yeah, I see that. Super concentrated with a handful of teams in like a handful of regions. I mean, it's kind of been that way, but I think it's just more so now than it was before. But
Yeah. Well, the landscape's always evolving, right? It's like, the big dog comes to town, and then everybody wants to knock off the big dog. So what do? You evolve with the time, and you say, all right, we got to get more all stars on this team. And then other teams evolve to that, they adapt to that, and then other teams have more all stars on their team, and before you know it, you got we can call it what it is. Poway is sucking all the resources in San Diego to Poway, except for Granite. And then Bosco's doing the same thing. And then um, Gilroy's doing the same thing. All the resources in that area
Yeah.
go to that one little epicenter. And they're also good at coaching, right? So I'm not taking away any that part. They're great teams, great leadership, good at coaching, but they're also sucking all the resources and talent their way.
Sure. A good program is going to attract talent. I mean, just it's going to happen.
Yeah, that too. I mean, how much of it's actually recruiting? A lot of it's just kids want to go to the best place.
I think that's an assumption that a lot of people make just because I think they're trying to find ways to tear people down. It's like, well, you're recruiting them, and then maybe, but I don't. I think it's more just like people want to go where there's good wrestling. I mean, think about from a parent perspective. If you're going to a school where maybe there's not good wrestling, I mean, a lot of times the parents have this perception that yeah, my kid needs good partners, so we're going to go to where there's good partners.
I
But
think
Yeah.
both's happening. I've heard a lot of recruiting stories over the years since I've been coaching, but I also know a
yeah,
lot
me
of
too.
kids. Dude, yeah. I mean, we know the stories and we know how it's done too. Like we know some of it's pretty out in the open and direct, and some of it's more subtle. Um, but it's happening, and all, at the same time, kids are transferring under their own will because they just want to go to the what they think is the best place for them.
Yeah. People are more connected than ever, right? Like it's just so easy. Before it's like, if you're a few towns away, you probably don't know a coach that well. You see them, but like, people are so connected through social media and phones and everything. It's just so easy to kind of connect to somewhere new and go.
Oh yeah, doesn't take much, and there's not a lot of penalty for transferring schools anymore.
No.
I think it kind of varies by county and by school district, but Kern High School District, I mean, there's an open enrollment window when you're eighth grade year where it's like basically just fill out a form and you can go wherever. And I think you can have like obviously non-athletic reasons to go somewhere, but it needs to be like pretty established. And then I think there's a another like CIF thing where it's like okay, if you go, it's like a 30-day sit out basically. So.
Much of a
Yeah.
penalty.
Well,
But
you know this.
there is cases like what happened with Rocha a couple years ago when he left Buchanan to Clovis North. He had to sit out basically until the end of the year.
Yeah, he took a moral stance against all that. But I mean, the Isai Fernandez story, I think, is also pretty intriguing. They basically said you can't go back to what I thought was his home school. You had to go back to the school you left for. So that was kind of a unique circumstance.
But he never was at high school. He wasn't ever at Birmingham High School. He was in their youth club.
Yeah,
So I
I
think
guess it was
that's the
more of his home
difference.
area. Yeah, correct. So like, yeah, I guess he probably IDT before he even started high school, and then they basically said you got to go to that. You got to stay with your what is now your home school.
And
Interesting times. I think there was a state Mike, our athletic director at Frontier was talking about. I think it was maybe North Carolina, but they were talking about how we're talking about having a transfer portal in high school. Which I don't.
I
I'm
don't
not
like
sure if
that.
that's functional. I'm not sure if that's functional, and I also feel like that's not. It's not the same thing. It's like you're gonna pack your kid up and send them across the state. Like, how does that even work?
Some families would do it. You know the families who would do it
yeah,
too. Um, they would, but I just don't like that. You see it with college. By the way, are we recording?
Oh, we've been going live. We've been going live for like 10
Oh
minutes.
no, no intro.
I
Nice raw dog it. Hell
no,
yeah,
I did.
cold opens.
Yeah, I've been, dude. We're elevating as a podcast, so
I
we'll
can
talk
feel
about
it.
that later. Don't stop the
I can,
flow. Keep going.
um, where was I going? I forget where I was going to go. We
See,
were talking about.
we were talking
Oh,
about transfer
we were talking
portal.
about transfer portals, and I don't like how the landscape of college wrestling is right now. Like I like it. Like the product's great. The wrestling's really good, but the rich get richer and the poor stay poor or get poor, and that's not good for wrestling. The lack of parity with the middle and lower tier schools, where you have that surprise All American from like I don't know, like Lockhaven or something like that. Like that, those are special stories, and those are going to become increasingly rare with how things are trending. And if you do that at the high school level, it's kind of the same thing. Alfontes was on here, and he had all those statistics and data points that he released to us before the podcast. I look at those things, And one of the data points was like the last time a high school had a state placer, and some of them were like 2 decades, 3 decades, or the first time state placer. You're going to find that increasingly difficult if you open up a dang portal and allow kids to jump schools.
I mean, look
Yeah,
what's happening with some of these Division One programs. I mean, you got six that have qualified 10 guys. You got Virginia Tech, Penn State, Oklahoma State, Ohio State, Nebraska, Iowa State. I mean, those are like the top six teams right now in the country. And yeah, there's some other teams like like a Cornell and Illinois who I think are competitive at the national level, but they're not. When I think of like who are the recruiting, getting after it, have all the support and things that you need to challenge for a national title. I mean, who outside of that top six I just named are even close to being competitive? I mean, Iowa. I mean, I guess Iowa, but they've kind of been botching the transfer portal last few years.
yeah. No, you think what makes a good product for wrestling? It's like it's got to be entertaining. What makes it entertaining? A competitive matchup or a competitive duel, competitive whatever it is. And
Parity, yeah.
when you know it's a foregone conclusion who's going to win, it's not interesting. You still might watch, but like I don't know, like I watch most of the Big Ten duels. I never watched the Penn State duels live because I know what's going to happen. I go rewatch them later when that whatever, and I kind of fast forward through most of them. But I'm not excited to watch them. I don't watch them live. I'll watch something else that's a little more competitive.
Well, there's a couple of different through lines on this. Number one is when the conclusion is foregone, people will tune in less, and that is currently proven with our ESPN viewership, which has been declining. Right? When
You
you
think
had
so? The last couple of years, I feel like it's been going up.
uh, I thought it peaked around like Dake Taylor, like a decade ago, and has been kind of in flux since. I think there's a peak around Spencer, and has been kind
Yeah.
of like in flux since. So, but that goes to my point. When the conclusion's not foregone, when you have a Dake Taylor situation and there's an uncertainty, people are going to tune in. That's kind of what Manny's saying. Like when these duels, like when it's Penn State and they're literally blanking good teams, they're not winning a single match. It's makes it a little bit harder for like your casual viewer to tune in. And I'll say the other part of this is the storyline of having the random All American. Again, it goes back to like when Cal State Bakersfield gets an All American and they're not supposed to have one, or Lock Haven, or CBU, for example, right? They get their first All American. That's a big story. That's something local. That's something national, and people are going to want to tune into that. But the transfer portal takes away from that possibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people don't really understand like, hey, if you're an All-American, like this is a big deal. But also like, hey, you went 2-2 at the Nationals. Like, I mean, that's a big deal too. But the difference is you don't have that, that podium finish to kind of hang your hat on. So it doesn't really kind of stick with, I think, like local news and things like that.
Yeah, it chipped away at that. I mean, the reality is you could have one or two guys place at the NCAA and it's a big deal, but your team may never crack the top 10. But having a couple All Americans is a huge deal, and you can really celebrate that. You can promote that, advertise that. And that with the transfer portal is just less likely. You're like you said, your Lock Havens, Edinburgh, App State's a good one. They were great, small
Yeah.
program for a long time.
Yes.
Um,
Edinburgh.
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
Edinburgh.
exactly.
The thing about that team with AJ Shop and Port and who is their 25 pounder? Who is a beast? Um, Yeah, but they had like 4 or 5 guys that were really tough, and I think they got third maybe one year.
Yeah, they got a trophy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Tim
Yeah,
Flynn,
that's a
but
great, yeah, great
it's not
story.
going to happen again.
No, I mean the odds are so small that you get a like a Little Rock to be top five to be what's the trophy now? Is it top four, top
Four.
three? Yeah, the odds are so slim that you get a Little Rock to do that. That'd be quite a feather in a coach's hat if they were able to get a non-traditional team the trophy.
I mean, think about it like that. They had two All-Americans. They had Stephen Little and they had Nasir Bailey. They were able to keep him that next year, but I remember Neil Arisman talking in an interview at the tournament saying the Sharks are circling.
Hmm.
Like people are talking to our guys right now at this tournament, and they were able to keep him for one more year. But Jordan Williams came on board, and they're like, dude, they could have three All Americans this year. Nasir Nabali ended up not placing, And then Nasir and Jordan both leave. They both go to Iowa. So not only is it like having success, but sustained success because if I get enough success as a wrestler, somebody's willing to offer me 100K plus to go into the portal because I'm an All-American. I mean,
Not even an All American. I don't think Jordan Williams AA'd yet.
he aid,
Did he?
yeah, yeah, he
Okay.
got. I don't want to say sixth or seventh, but I'm pretty sure he got on the podium.
Okay. My mistake, Jordan
But
Williams.
even to your point, there's guys who maybe didn't even get on the podium around the 12, just were competitive, and one of the teams has a hole, they have the money, they're going to throw it at them. I mean,
Well, let's
this
go.
is
Let's go one layer deep on this transfer portal issue, and I know we got to get to NCAAs because that's the topic du jour. But we're seeing right now a lot of kids who are transferring not pan out. Like they're getting paid absurd amounts of money. And you hear all the whispers of it from Bo Nickel and other people on social media, and then they end up like I don't want to be too critical. I'll just
Be
say they don't
critical.
pan out.
Where are the receipts too? Like how much are these guys actually getting paid? I want to see the receipts.
Well, I mean, we can safely say it's above six figures, I think, under, straight assumption. But um, these guys you can see it in the way they wrestle. Dude, the passion for a lot of them are gone. The fire's gone. We'll call it a California guy instead of an Iowa guy because we have Miguel Estrada at Iowa. I don't want to make Iowa a target. But Figueroa,
Yeah,
he got the bag. Now he's
he's
third string.
he has a big bag and he's going to be watching NCAAs from his couch. That sucks. That sucks for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just kind of again the state of the landscape. I mean, who was going to start at 133s this year? I mean, it was if it
Who are you
wasn't
going to
Timothy
start?
Jacks, it might have been
Ramirez.
Ronnie Ramirez. You
Yeah.
know,
And he would have been, sir, he would have been great.
yeah.
He'd have been for sure a top 15 guy. He probably would have been right there in the round of 12 to AA.
and even the guys that maybe aren't in the kind of in the mix of that conversation of that weight class, but like Ren Sakamoto wasn't bad at wrestling, but where's he going to fit in the lineup? Probably never. Reese Wickraft, I think they were trading off with him last year. Probably not going to crack the lineup. So what's going to happen to those guys? It's like, well, maybe if you really believe in your experience, like we were talking about our team party last night, it's like, we have some guys that if you go somewhere else in town, you're probably starting for your high school lineup. But at Frontier,
Yeah.
it's like it's going to be tough. But the reason you stay is because of the experience, though. You're going to get a better wrestling experience here than, not hating on other teams, but than you would somewhere else. And I think that's kind of the same thing with OSU right now. They're crushing it with that Stilly Boys thing. Man, I don't know if you watch that stuff, but I mean, it's pretty cool the production value that they're putting into marketing their program. And I think I don't know if I mean I know Carlo's a purist, and I think you obviously still have to have good products out on the map. But I think there's a lot of kids that are into that, and that's like draws eyes to their program big time.
Yeah, I don't watch a whole. I know what it is. I've seen some clips, but I don't like follow everything they put out. But yeah, I think it's only going to help their recruiting. It's going to help them promote. Yeah, I think they're doing a great job with that. Even their in match production has looked pretty damn good. So they're putting a lot of effort into everything they can, all aspects of their wrestling program.
Yeah, I think they have 9 guys ranked in the top 8. A lot of them are like 7, 8 range, but like I think their only guy they don't have ranked in the top eight's got to be Zach Ryder, right?
Yeah,
Facundo's in there. Yeah, everybody's in the top 8 right now. And
dude, that
Facundo, I
shoulder
mean,
looked
he's
nasty
hurt.
coming
Yeah,
out.
he's hurt. So I mean, it's not because Facundo's not good enough to be top 8. He just things happen during the wrestling season that hamper your ability to wrestle at your best level.
Well, you guys want to get into it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a disclaimer, Brian. I had my brackets filled out, and then I was at as you know, I was at USA State yesterday, and freaking I come back to my seat, and there's a bunch of little gremlins on our team sitting around, and I see a huge puddle under my backpack, and I'm like, which one of you guys spilled freaking Gatorade in my backpack? Nobody did. I think what happened is Sorella put my water bottle upside down in my backpack, and so it just freaking emptied and my brackets are soaked. And so I'm dealing with soggy brackets. I don't know if I will be able to read everything.
That's fine. We'll kind of
Yeah.
just, I guess, go through it. We could start at 125s. Um, Mandy, do you fill out brackets and stuff? No, and you're not into like doing drafts or anything like that either, huh?
I'm in one, but it's very loosey goosey. I don't know. I've done them; they're fun, but brackets I've never really taken the time to fill out. It just I suck at it, and I never can pick well. I'm just like I don't know what's going to
I'll,
happen. It's such a competitive
dude,
tournament.
I'll say this. I've not usually filled out brackets, but the last 2 years, because we're in this little group, there's actually some pretty smart coaches in this group. Shout out to the Granite boys. And they're so good they like force me to have to fill out a bracket. So I usually don't. And here's the other thing, like your edge in wrestling knowledge is what gives you the ability to be competitive in these things. And when you do a draft, it takes away your edge because there's so much like variability. Like a five beats a four, a three loses to a six, a 12 beats a 10. Do 12 wrestle 10? 10 wrestle seven, right? So a 10 beats a seven. And so like it's real there. And if you're doing a draft order, you can't use your edge as much. So, anyways, with that
You
disclaimer out of the
really
way.
you really have to pay attention. I think Brian Navarro and like Oren and Brady, I think have been in the top three the past couple of years
Yeah. Well, we've only done it
for
twice.
our
This will be our
voting.
third year. Yeah.
Trying to think who won it last year, but I think if you think
I think
about like,
Navarro won it.
huh?
I think Navarro won it.
Yeah, yeah,
Shout
but
out
I
Brian.
think like one of the things I think is interesting. I know Oren was pretty competitive one year, but he had like Figueroa. He picked late and ended up being national champ. So it's like weights like 125s is like a complete crapshoot. I think especially. I mean, even the year that Spencer was going to go for his fourth, I think in our heads it's like, yeah, he's probably going to win his fourth, but there's not really a whole lot of stability. I feel like at this weight class at all. Like it could be literally anybody.
Yeah, on Flow Wrestling on FRL, they have a next topic kind of moniker for guys who are so good at their weight class that you don't even question if they're going to win it, right? Like Messenbrink next topic, right? Jason Nolf next topic. That was Gable Stevenson the other year last year. Gable Stevenson next topic. He ended up taking second. Like nothing's guaranteed.
Manny, when you look at this bracket, is there anything that maybe like are you like preferencing bulk just because you're a Minnesota guy, or are there like certain guys that you think like, man, I really like how this dude's kind of wrestling, maybe that we don't necessarily see?
I think Volk has a good path. Sixth, he'd have to. I mean, it's going to be tough, obviously, but I think he's got a pretty good path to get deep. Who would he wrestle? Bazakis,
Uzakis.
Zachis.
Yeah.
Bazakis. Three seed, he just beat him in the Big Ten. Beat him pretty handily, pretty controlled. It was a good match
Yeah.
for him.
You wrestled
He's
a great
wrestling.
match.
Yep, wrestled well at the Big Tens, wrestled as well as he had maybe all year. So
Hmm.
he's just kind of trending up. I think he can make a run for sure. I'd say weight class in general, I would probably say Lilidal's the front runner, but he can get beat along the way. I mean, I don't think he's that far ahead of the pack. Um, you got the ACC guys I think are really good. Ventresca, Robinson, Provo,
Yeah.
Spratley's freaking good. But he's got to hit Robinson first day, more than likely. It's just such a crazy bracket that there's going to be some good guys not placing for sure.
I mean, I'm a big Jet Strickenberger fan, and maybe he's not had the best year, but like, him and Witt, I like Witt too,
I
from
like
North
Witt,
Dakota
yeah.
State. So like, both those guys. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with that match. That's like one of the matches I kind of have circled that I want to make sure I watch. But um, I think Lilidal is the favorite. Obviously, he's the one, but he is going to have that tough pack because he's got uh, probably the winner of Strickenberger and Witt, and then he's going to have to wrestle either Renteria or Peterson, which Renteria I like, and again, California guy. Um, I think he's probably fine against Peterson, but I don't think he's wrestled Renteria.
Well, he
Definitely
he
not
lost
this
to Dean
season.
last year, right?
Yep.
Lillidahl did. He had a loss to Dean
On the
last year.
backside.
No, not
No, Domi.
no. During the
Oh,
regular season,
Rutgers
yeah, during a
and
dual meet.
yeah,
Yeah.
And then he also had a close one with Ezekiel Witt. I think Ezekiel Witt's like, I don't know if he might be the only guy this season who's taken down Lilladall. I'm not sure if that's a true fact, but he's one of the few. He definitely took down Lilladall, and I don't know
Yeah,
who else is.
it was a one
Yeah,
point match with a couple scores each, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a
it
eight
was
nine, 7-8 or
six
something.
6-5. It was
Is
six
that what
five,
it
I
was?
think. Yeah, yeah. He had to get a late takedown to pull ahead, but
Yeah, and
I
then I don't know where he's at in the bracket. Maybe I don't know if he would run into him, but he lost to Seymour last year.
Seymour,
yes.
that
So
would be
he's
a potential
he's the
semis.
4 seed. So if Seymour beats Spratley, then he has to wrestle Seymour. So he's gonna have to wrestle 3 guys, 2 of which he's lost to in the past, one of which he had a very competitive match with this year. So it's like a deceivingly tough path.
Yeah.
But I mean, on paper, he should do well if he's hitting on all cylinders.
But even Seymour has to go through possibly Poulin, and Poulin's tough.
Yes, dude. The amount of
And
yeah,
then Spratlin and Vincent Robinson are in the second round, and it's
yes,
like the set. This is probably one of my favorite brackets in terms of like second round matchups.
yes. It's nasty. There's All American versus All American matchups in round freaking two in the round of 16.
National finals rematch.
Yes, yeah. That's yeah, for sure. Well, I'll definitely be televising it in class that day.
I do that every year. I
I
didn't do
usually
it
don't,
last year
but
because my student teacher was teaching, so I just had like the one Chromebook. But usually every year I'm like, guys, we're gonna watch wrestling, and I put up on the projector. I have like my 2 monitors, and normally I set up like a couple Chromebooks.
yeah, I'm gonna have to get your passwords this year to watch it. Um,
Just come in, just come in.
all right, who do you have making the finals, Brian?
I didn't even think that far ahead. But I am a big Eddie Ventresca fan. I do like him a lot. I think I watched this video early on in the year, but it was like a practice that Virginia Tech was doing, and it just seems like he's very much a leadership guy. I thought he was close
Yeah.
last year. He took out Strickenberger in the quarterfinals, which was a pretty barn burner. And then I'm trying to remember, he wrestled Spratley maybe in the semis, and that was a pretty good match last year. But he's very capable, I think, of being a national champ, and also too, like I mean, we talk about some of the guys that are maybe on this bottom side that kind of struggle with their weight cuts. Like you got Jory Volk and Nick Bazakis who are going to wrestle Friday
Mhm.
morning. But Eddie's another one of those guys, and I think if he can get past Provo again, I think he's a guy that, all right, you look at some of the biggest 25 pounders in this bracket, they're going to be wrestling Friday night. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I like Eddie Ventresca. I also really like Buzakis, and I think if he can get past Volk, he's my favorite, I think, to win this bottom side.
Volk is your favorite to win the bottom side?
Buzakis.
Buzakis. Oh, okay, to make it to the finals. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine's a little bit different. You
But
want me
yeah,
to break?
I have like 1% certainty.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to be confident in any of these right now. There's so much parity, especially at 125s.
Like I
I,
don't even have it filled out, like the past the quarterfinal for one of these and then like the
it's
semis.
hard. I
Yeah.
actually have Volk beating Buzakis in the quarters. It's Friday morning. Buzakis just doesn't do well off the scale on multiple weigh-in days. Volk
Yeah,
does a
but
little bit
Volk's big
better.
too.
He is. He's bigger than Buzakis. Like eye test, like he actually. I was surprised in the. When did they meet? Did they meet in the quarterfinals of the Big Tens or the semis?
Semis.
Semis.
Semis. He looked bigger than Buzakis, like legit bigger than Buzakis. If Volk can get past Buzakis, I do like his chance against Ventresca, just because skill set wise, the way Ventresca loses matches is he gets ridden like in double OT. Like that's how Spratley beat him. And Volk looked pretty dang tough on top. He can ride. He also has a leg attack that's very low risk off his underhook, which again Ventresca's some of his best stuff's reattacks. Like he has a really good high C and a really good reattack. And Volk kind of stays out of those positions, and he's able to get to legs without too much risk. So if Volk is managing his weight well, I actually have him making the finals, and I have Buzakis coming back and taking third.
I got the same. Bolt beat Ventresca, I think, twice already this year. They wrestled at the National Duels Invite. I'm pretty sure it's 2 times he beat him. Um,
Yeah, it's a good matchup for Volk in my opinion. I yeah,
I think so too. It comes down to who's feeling good off the scale, who's just wrestling their
Hmm.
best. But yeah, I
Yep.
think the path is great for Volk. And on the other side, I mean, I'm just going to favor Liljendahl, but it's not going to be easy. I won't be surprised if he doesn't make it, but
I'd like to see somebody take hold of the weight. I'd like to see, and it's probably going to be Lilladall if it's going to be anybody, right? Some consistency out of somebody. Chaos is good too, though. So whatever.
Chaos is a ladder, as they
yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of want to move on to 133s. I'm not normally a big Christian Piles fan, but I did listen to FRL the other day, and he made a really good point. And I don't know if that's why I'm starting to like him now or what. But here's my thing about Jax Forrest. I'm not upset that he's the number one seed. I'm not like upset, but I think there's a couple things that factor into it, which and Manny, you can chime in because you gotta be, I think, a little more familiar maybe with the RPI system than I am. But he doesn't have 15 matches, which I understand. There's special cases like you look at Kyle Snyder. I think had like 12 matches. I think 1 year, just because he was training for the World Olympics and things like that. Like he was doing freestyle, which I totally get. But I also think it's like look at his schedule maybe compared to Davino's and Blaze, it's like I don't necessarily justify him jumping those guys when the only thing that kind of changed was that Davino had what just beat Blaze and gotten that win back, but then now they both suffer and Jax is the one. I don't know. I mean I would have liked to see Davino as the one.
I would disagree with it. Same, it's a little bit of the splitting hairs. It's the system. Like you don't get much more credit for wrestling more matches. It's obvious. And you do get credit for your strength of schedule. You get where that's the RPI essentially. Then you get the credit for your record. So if you have a record of with one loss, and you're again compared to someone with no losses, even though they have less matches, they're going to get the edge on the seed. But I don't know. This way would have been tough to seed either way. I mean, you put Davino or Blaze one over Jax. Where do you put Jax? Can you put him two? Do you put him three? Do you put him behind both? If you put him behind one, you almost
You
can put
put
him
him.
behind
You
both.
put him two or three. Yeah, you put him two or
Right?
three, and two and three is the same, right?
Yeah, I mean, this week's so competitive. More than anything, it's like I would just like to see the matchups I haven't seen, just selfishly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like putting Sidell on the other side from Jackson, you know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
same thing
Yeah.
with
Seidel's a bit
Blaze.
of a boogeyman in this weight class. Like
Big
he's,
time.
yeah, like you kind of don't want to see him. I mean, here's the other interesting thing though, is he hasn't wrestled really anybody super good. I think Knox might be his best win.
He's got
And
that
he just,
ACC schedule.
yeah, unfortunately for ACC, it's not in their control, but then you watch him wrestle Knox, and you're like, dude, this guy's freaking scary. He's good in all positions. He's gritty. He knows how to wrestle.
Knox is kind of all over the place though with some of his positions. Like he isn't afraid to send it, which I mean I like it, but it's not something if I had a fantasy draft I would pick him again. I mean I picked him
Yeah.
last year and
Well,
all over the place, but
part of why Knox is so good though is, I mean, he also wrestles through positions really well, but he just doesn't have the ability to score at the same clip as these top four freshmen, top five, I guess. And usually he kind of makes his bones like scrambling and countering takedowns, or if you take him down, like he's good at getting reversals and getting on top and riding you. And with Seidel, his finishes were so proficient. If you watch the ACC finals, like there is like nothing. Like he was able to finish 2 seconds after getting a leg, 1 second after getting a leg.
Yeah, Seidel's dangerous. He's really good on top. Like he's got that X factor. He can catch a wrist and blow open a match just like
Yeah,
that. So, and he's good on his feet. Like you said, good finisher. He took down Jax. Was it three times? Twice off a
something like
shot.
that. Two,
I think
at
twice.
least
Did he get some
twice.
swipes too? Maybe.
Yeah. So or maybe got to his leg a couple
No,
times.
he didn't get
Finished
any
one leg
swipes, but
attack, but no, he's a scary matchup. Like you give up a wrist or something, he can put you on the back pretty quick. Got that really good tilt.
all right, who do we got making the finals?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I
All
think
right.
I
Good review.
honestly I think if Davino can get past Bird, which I think Carlin, you made a point of this. Like Bird kind of just struggles, I think, scoring points on guys this year. The same thing with Blaze. I think Davino has a little bit more of a motor, and I'm gonna go with the guy that has a higher motor. I think, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if something happens like Bird or Blaze beats him.
I don't think Davino loses to Bird. I think Davino has many, many ways to score. Um, I think Davino makes it to the semis against Blaze. I have Blaze with zero confidence. It's the Penn State factor. I just think Penn State is really, really good at preparing for these kinds of matches, and they're like their winning percentage in the semis is absurdly high. And so I'm gonna go with history, and I'm gonna have Blaze against Forest with Forest winning.
We need to
The
get
third
you a
place matches. Go
we need
ahead.
to get you a Sanderson jersey. Where
I
his
know
jacket?
it sounds that way, huh? I mean, I am a fan, but I mean, yeah, you try to stay objective, but it's hard to just when you look at just the history of how they do at the NCAA tournament. It's like if it's a coin flip and it's the semifinals and you're wearing blue and white, you kind of have to go with history.
I mean,
Who do you think takes third?
oh,
Oh,
that's a
sorry. Go
good
ahead,
question
Manny.
too.
Go ahead, Manny.
No, I with again very little confidence. I just maybe just to be a little different. I'm taking Seidel and Davino in the finals. I think Seidel can win the whole way. He's just so
Yeah,
dangerous.
I like that take. I like
yeah,
that take a
yeah.
lot. That's a
The
fun
only
one.
reason why I have Jackson in the finals is because when he wrestled Seidel, I think that was his first big test, and he was still getting his feet wet in college. And I think is Seidel a true freshman? He's a redshirt
Yeah.
freshman, right?
He was supposed to back up, and I
True.
think their guy got hurt at that weight, so they're and he was like a top 20 guy, so they're like, "Hey,
Okay.
it's time for you to go."
So I think Jax probably has his feet underneath him now. His timing's there for college. His feel is there for college. And I think the more he feels it, the better he gets. And he's felt, how many matches? 12 matches? I don't know what his record is. So by the time he gets to the NCAA tournament, he's gonna be all the everything's gonna be clicking probably a little bit better this time around for Jax. But I can again, no confidence in any of these picks. You shake them up, you pour them out, it's gonna be different every time.
Good question.
I don't think Forrest is like necessarily lacking a lot of. I mean, I know he's only had 13 college matches, but like he's been competing in their art or wrestling with their RTC pretty much all spring and summer last year, and came out obviously left high school early, but he's wrestled a lot of college level guys, and he's wrestled pretty well internationally. And look at how he's wrestled like Larkin, who he teched. No, did he tech Larkin? No, he majored Larkin.
No,
He majored Larkin.
yeah, he was like 1 point away.
Spanked Ayala. Yeah, had that close match with Seidel, and they had another big win. Who I'm blanking on right now, but I mean, I think you put him in these situations. I don't think it really phases them. Like, I don't think that's necessarily a factor.
Probably Julian Farber from you and I. He
I
teched
think
him
that
too.
was that like his first or second match.
Yeah. But
And
Farber's tough.
Farber's
Like
a good
Farber's
baseline.
really tough guy. And
Yep.
he just beat him in every position. I think I'm gonna guess. This is gonna be a guess.
Guess away,
I'm gonna guess Seidel takes third and Davino takes fourth.
and then Blaze
Ayala
Blaze second to
Ayala. No.
Forest. Ayala
Yeah,
bleeds.
No, Blaze second. No, Blaze second. I have Blaze and Jackson in the finals. Again,
Okay,
zero confidence in any of that. But I'm gonna
Ayala
go
and
with
Blaze,
Ayala.
at six.
Ayala and Blaze wrestled in the quarters, and they had an overtime match at Big Ten. It's a pretty close match, I'd say.
Yeah, it was
Which
Yeah,
fighting.
Blaze does not have an easy path
mm-mm.
for sure.
It's kind of weird to see Ayala's record right now. He's got 8 losses.
Yeah, 13-8. That's not a great record, but
Tough
they're all against
schedule.
really good guys.
Yeah.
Okay, 41s. Is this one of those weights where you feel like this is a lock and we could just be like, yep, kind of move on. It's gonna be Jesse Mendez.
Not
Um,
quite. Vega's a real threat, I think. I don't know. I'd have to watch it. Like, he's just so good. Mendes has cruised, but I don't think you can discount Vega that easy.
yeah, Vega has what you would call a knockout punch, right? So like the thing is freaking Mendez has so many ways to score, and he doesn't have to get caught with a head inside underneath Vega to get in that crunch cradle position, which is where Vega's knockout punch would be, like finding a cradle off a leg attack. He has different ways where he can take Vega down. He gets both legs pretty proficiently on reattacks and things like that. And if he can get to both legs or get to Vega's hips, he's not going to get caught in a bad spot. Um, and he has a whip over, right? He has a knockout punch. If he gets underhook in a tricep in a short offense position, he can put you to your back. So I think if Mendez keeps wrestling like he's been wrestling all season, which basically guys just a dog on a bone for 7 minutes trying to get after points, it's gonna be hard for Vega. But if Vega gets that knockout and it's a 7 point deficit, it'll be interesting.
There's a couple guys in his path though that I feel I can give him a good challenge, like Bumbar I like a lot, and they had wrestled when they wrestle. They had I thought a competitive match the last time they compete against each other. I'm gonna have to check Russell's set on that one. I think Stanich. I'm not sure if Stanich is gonna be able to beat Mendez, but I do like Ekamendia. I thought when they wrestled at the All Star Classic this year, Ekamendia looked a little bit tired, a little bit out of shape. But I think it could be a pretty gritty match because Ekamendia, I think if he stays in a really good position, I'm not sure if it's going to be something to where he's going to put up a whole lot of points on Mendez, but I think if it's something where it kind of goes in the distance and it's close, I think Ekamendia could possibly sneak one out. I can see that potentially happening.
Yeah, Echemendia and Stanich both have a skill set that can keep it within like a one score like sequence. Like their positioning, their hand fighting is really, really top tier, and that puts Stanich in like all the matches. Even with Ekamendia, like he can beat Ekamendia, but
I agree.
they both have a hard time generating points, like you said. Like you gotta get to an offensive score. That's going to be the tricky part. So they can keep it close, they can keep it competitive, and maybe sneak in a score, maybe at the end of a period or something like that. But Mendez is just going to keep coming.
I think Stanch is right there with Ekmendia and Vega.
Yeah, yeah,
His spot in the, I mean, he's got to hit Mendez in the semis, but if he didn't, I think he could be in the finals potentially. He's good. I like him. I mean, he was a U-23 world champ this summer. Looked
yeah,
great out there. I'm guessing he was banged up. He didn't wrestle a lot this year. I'm guessing he was something injured, but he's had a good year for what he did wrestle.
yeah. All of Lehigh's guys, 25s through 41s, are like injured like almost the entire year.
Uh,
And that was like the meat of their lineup. That was like their best guys.
I was really excited for them for national duels, but they just couldn't really put out their best guys, which sucked.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, that's something we didn't talk about 33. Sorry to derail. But Crookham, imagine him at 33s if he was still healthy. That weight class would
He
just be
get fifth or sixth maybe.
maybe not. I mean, yeah, who knows?
I
But it
mean, he
just
can ride those guys, but I mean, I don't think he's necessarily going to be able to take them down.
yeah, he's just hard to take down and trick. He's a very tricky guy to wrestle.
Yeah, I like the tricky guys wrestling.
So do we have Hardy taking third in this bracket?
Maybe him and Ekamendia and Stanich. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's kind of a toss up with those three.
I have Ekamedia making the semis over Stanich and then losing to Mendez. So he would have to be like who? He would have to beat like Cornella or Nasir if seeds hold. I mean, it could be freaking Braden Davis. Who knows? Who knows who's going to be coming back on the backside? There's my PSU bias again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I have either Stanich or Ekamendia having to wrestle Nasir in the blood rounds potentially. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't have Nasir AA.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's gonna be a fun time, man. I think I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think there's other guys in here like Like Consiglio, I feel like Penn I think is having actually a pretty good season this year. They got a lot of guys that I think have done well in the tournament. My only thing though is when you look at some of the Ivy League guys and some of the ACC guys, is like they don't really get a whole lot of opportunities to wrestle the best guys in the country. So some of their seeds and
Yeah.
some of their records are kind of, I mean, I'm going to talk about Hippolito for a second. Like he was the 4 seed last year, and we were doing that draft, and it's like no one was going
No
to
one
pick
wanted
Hippolito
Hippolyto.
because we all
No one
knew.
wanted him. Yeah. He was like one of the last picks.
I forgot who took him, but somebody was like, "All right, I guess I'll just do it."
I don't know if we had to give him to Tori or something like that, like auto draft him, but yeah, nobody wanted him. I feel like just as a side note, I feel like Ivies are in a really neat spot right now. I mean, you got great coaches at Columbia, at Penn, at
Hmm.
Cornell. That's kind of neat to see. You know me, I'm a sucker for academics, so it's cool to see smart people being really great. So that's cool.
Did you watch any of their conference matches, like their final matches?
I didn't.
What about you, Manny? Well,
I
the so
saw
I
some
looked
results,
at
but I
it and
didn't
the
watch them.
production value. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we it's whatever about it. I mean, I think the wrestling quality is still good, but I think the conference production value was it was like a half empty gym from what it looked like.
Yeah,
That's
I only
they could
caught
do better.
I went back and rewatched the Shapiro Swisher match and then I
Yeah.
saw the heavyweight match. I didn't see all the way through.
Dude, that match on Flow Wrestling said it was like 8-2 Swisher. And I went and looked, I was like, what? And I went and looked at it, and Shapiro spanked him.
What do you mean?
I thought Shapiro lost.
He did.
What?
Yeah.
No. No, no, no.
Yeah, he lost.
No, no, no. Nope.
What?
No.
Shapiro
He
lost
he
in the
won.
finals.
Am I tripping?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Dude,
you are.
I think I might have looked at maybe a year before or something like that.
Maybe.
Because I went and looked it up and I was trying to find it and I was like, why did it say this? That's
Yeah.
what it
No,
was.
I'm 99.9% sure Swisher won. Um,
We were talking about it in our group chat, Brian.
it was
Yeah, well, I was busy on
it was an
Saturday. I was
interesting
coaching.
match. Swisher just won like a couple positions, and Shapiro never really came close to creating any more action. Um, I don't know. I feel like it could go the other way pretty easily, but he just was the better guy that match. I think Shapiro's really good, but Swisher just wrestled
Shapiro's really good. Yeah.
really good match.
Shapiro, I don't know, man. He has a hard time. I I don't know if the intensity of the match gets to him or what gets to him, but he has a hard time winning big matches, like when things are kind of on the line. Maybe it's his health. I think I know like a lot of it's been health related in the past. Maybe he's has a hard time when he's behind. I don't know. But he struggles. He struggles from being behind, and he struggles kind of at the end of the season, which makes me not super confident. But if he's healthy, the guy's unreal talented.
Yeah, I'm always like I feel like he sends it when he doesn't need to.
Oh yeah, freshman year especially, he was sending it for not many good reasons. Kept
But even
sending it.
last year, I forgot he was wrestling. But he like spams a lat drop. It's like the first period and lands right on his dome, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
I
Like you
think it
have a
was against
history.
Antrell Taylor. Antrell Taylor, yeah, I think that was the match. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, from a body lock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and at that time, I think Shapiro's a pretty good favorite against Taylor, but yeah, he just put himself in the hole and for no real reason.
Yeah, yeah, he'll
he
do
ended up
that.
getting fourth. Was it fourth last year? He ended up getting fourth, or was that 2 years ago?
No, he took fifth last year because he lost to what's his face from Penn State in the wrestleback,
Kasek.
K-Sac.
Yeah, yeah, I remember watching that match. I couldn't remember if it was Conti semis or third, or fourth.
Yeah, there was that famous post-match speech where the allegations from Shapiro were going viral.
Was that was like there was steroid use or something like that?
Yeah.
he didn't. I don't think he said steroids, but he was like heavily alluding to that. Yeah, maybe he did say. I don't think he said steroids though. But yeah. All right, are we good with 41s?
I
Yeah.
think so.
All right, I say Hardy takes third. 49s.
This is another one where I feel like there's definitely some sneaky good guys in here that I think the bottom half I feel like is pretty tough. I think there's some upsets that are potentially here. Some guys that are lower seeds that I think can make a pretty deep run. Carlo and I had talked about this already, and I thought I was actually helping him out, and then he's like, "No, I thought the same thing," and I maybe it was vice versa. Um, but Manny, if you look at some of these seeds, are there any guys that you may think like, all right, yeah, this guy's gonna make a deep run?
Look at the bottom half of 149s, Manny. I think
Well,
Brian.
don't lead him. Just let him figure it out.
Well, I mean, whatever. I don't think it's that like you're kind of acting like when we were talking about this, like this is a secret thing. I think anybody who's kind of like who knows ball is
I'll
looking
tell you
at the
who.
bottom
I'll
half.
tell you who's good. I see bottom half outside like the top seeds. Aiden Valencia, um,
Bingo.
Styles, um, Lachlan McNeil can make a
Bingo.
run. Um, who else is in there? Those guys stick out. That Ratchy, however you say his name. Now it's South
Rachi.
Dakota.
By
I
way of
mean, it
Iowa.
wouldn't surprise me if he made a run. He seemed to have a good Big 12 tournament. Um, but those guys stick. Oh, Ryder Block's in there. He's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
dangerous. So yeah, those guys stick out for sure. Now I think Jackson Joy's pretty good. I wish I'd seen him wrestle some more like Big Ten guys, but I don't know. He's dangerous too. He can cradle anyone and put anyone away pretty quick.
You lost
So
to your boy Booskins.
yeah, he did. I saw that match. Um,
Yeah.
Bizgins kept out scrambling them. Joy got to a few leg attacks, and Bizgins kept rolling under, getting through, and then was it rideouts? He might have beat him in rideouts even, which is a little surprising.
Was it rideouts? Man, I don't
Maybe not.
remember.
I don't remember, but I remember it was a pretty contested match.
It was close. I feel like he beat him in regulation. I think
Was it?
I think he had the only offensive points, maybe.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
he hit a like a lefty single. He snuck in there on a
yeah,
lefty single and took him down. Yep, you're right.
yeah. And I think he even got off bottom. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not confident in that, but he just, I don't know. I think the Jackson Joy algorithm is starting to get figured out, maybe, and I hope that's not the case because I like Jackson Joy. He has
Yeah,
some interesting stuff.
I agree.
Well, who do you guys have kind of navigating this bottom bracket? Manny, you can go
Hey,
first.
hey, don't put this podcast out before the draft, Brian.
It's probably gonna come out Sunday. It's probably gonna come out
Yeah,
tomorrow. Um,
perfect. All right, so we can speak our mind.
you need to speak your
No,
mind.
no, no sensitive information will be divulged before the draft.
I don't know. I'm sure they wrestled, and I couldn't tell you who won, but I see in the bottom half it could likely be Styles and McNeil, and they must have wrestled at least a couple times.
Let's see. Let's see. Let me do my
And
young Jamie
if I
right
knew
now.
who got the better of the other, I would pick to make the finals. Up top, I'm saying Penn State bias. I think you got to go with Van Ness, even though he is beatable. I mean, he gives up points. He lets guys come get in the match.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have a hard time picking against them to make the finals.
There's a prototype to beating Van Ness. I'll just say it. If you're really good on top and if you have an explosive leg attack, like Ryder Block has an explosive leg attack, an explosive double leg. That's why he has a hard time against Ryder Block. Ryder Block kind of stays out of tie up, doesn't engage with hand fight. If you're that guy, like if you have an explosive, quick finish, hard double, and if you can keep Van Ness down, you're going to be in the match. I don't think Booskins has that. I don't think who else on that have
Hmm.
Zargo,
It's not
Gage.
it's not an easy path. I mean, he'll wrestle Frost more than likely second round. Even
Yeah,
Kapusta's not
yeah.
bad. if
Yeah.
Kapusta gets by Frost, and then maybe
Ski.
Swiderski, yeah,
Yeah.
is going to wrestle hard as shit and create
Yep.
some action. Yeah, it's not an easy couple matches for him besides his first one.
Van Ness is beatable for sure. I think out of all those guys, Swiderski probably has the best skill set to beat him.
I don't know,
Um,
dude. He doesn't have a leg attack. He just hand fights really hard.
he has a good pick and a good double leg.
I don't think he's gonna get that on Shane Van Ness.
Yeah,
I
but I
agree.
think
I think he has
he,
the best shot though.
I think he fights really hard though, where Van Ness will break matches open. Where I think Swiderski will stay in there in the fight and not kind
Yeah.
of fold late.
I haven't been I was a big Swiderski fan when he was at Iowa State, but I think since the last couple of years he got injured and then now he's at Oklahoma State, I don't think he's the same guy in terms of his intensity in his matches sometimes. And he's been
Really.
really inconsistent this year.
I think he's been wrestling like a dog. He just hasn't been winning. It's like he passes the eye test. He's just not getting his hand raised. That's how I feel about him.
He's not
He
scoring
looks like he's
points.
he's getting the legs. So like there's a lot of like Coy Biskins is a good example. He got to Biskins' legs. I don't know how many times. It couldn't finish and lost that match. That might have been the national duels. And that was kind of the story of his first half of the season where he kept losing and he was getting ridden out and he just wasn't finishing leg attacks. But he's been since the second half of the season figuring that aspect out. And he was really gritty on top in the Big 12 finals. And I forget who he wrestled. Was it
Was it
Northern Iowa?
Rachi?
I think it was North. Yeah, I think it was Rachi. And if he can be very gritty on top against Van Ness, I mean that's his probably his path to victory. Snipe an ankle pick or maybe a hard double and ride him out. But
I
again,
just
I don't
don't
think it's
think.
going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think Rachi and Shane Van Ness are in the same category of wrestler.
Well, I'm talking about Swiderski, but yeah.
I
But the
Do
think,
you
bottom
think?
half is the one I'm interested in.
yeah,
You guys think Virginia Tech's I don't know how you say his last name for sure. Colin Gage. I think I've heard it said Guy. Colin Guy. You guys think he makes the semi or no?
we
I
can
don't have him
call
making the semi.
Colin Guy.
Yeah.
I have Guy losing.
Yeah, I think
I
him and Bushkins are. Is it Bushkin? Dude, we need to figure out these guys' names. Is it Bushkins?
Biskins. Biskins.
Biskins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went with Manny's pronunciation. I'm gonna trust the Minnesota guy.
Okay. Yeah,
I
Biskins.
actually have Zargo beating Guy,
Yeah.
Mm,
which is
he's
an
a
Yeah.
interesting
sleeper.
upset. Yeah,
He's asleep.
he's tough.
Carter Young's a little bit of a landmine in there too. I think Carter Young's a really good wrestler. I know he probably hasn't put together a career that he might have thought earlier, but he's good, man.
I like Gabe Willishell too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Willshaw's tough.
That's gonna be a
dude. Do
good
you
match.
guys remember what's his face? Who was the guy, the national champ from North Dakota State? Was it North Dakota State? The 33
Uh,
pounder from years ago,
Seth
who's
Gross.
made our world
South
team.
Dakota.
Gross. Do you remember
Seth,
when
yeah.
Carter Young? Do you remember when Carter Young beat Seth Gross when he was like
Like,
a high school kid or a
yep,
freshman?
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, he was still like at Northwestern. He was like going to Northwestern and then ended up going to Oklahoma State, but he's good. He's a good wrestler.
Yeah, yeah. I have So I'll just say it, Brian. Brian, this is my intel. I have McNeil making the finals against Van
Yeah.
Ness, and I have McNeil beating Aiden Valencia, which I have no confidence in. I think Aiden Valencia actually has a good skill set to beat McNeil, and if Aiden Valencia beats McNeil, I think he has a good skill set to also possibly beat Van Ness. Um, but I have McNeil beating Aiden. I have Aiden beating Jackson
Jackson
Joy,
Joy. Styles
which
and then Joy.
I'm beating Styles and Joy. I have no confidence in Styles. I just the way he wrestles. Um, can Styles beat Aiden Valencia? 100%. Styles is good at keeping matches close. And again, Jackson has a skill set that's hard to figure out. So Aiden has to beat those two tough guys. And I think this is more of a heart pick than anything else. Um, but I have him making the semifinals and losing to Lachlan. Lachlan making the finals from the, what is he like, the 11th seed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have Rachi losing to McNeil in the quarters. And then I have I think the best guys that could potentially beat Shane Van Ness are kind of like following the algorithm that you were talking about, Carlo, is maybe being stingy in the hand fighting, being able to ride. If you look at that, I think McNeil and Joy are probably the best guys for that. I think Valencia's if I mean his best position is on his feet, and so is Shane Van Ness. I think if they get into a shootout, I think Shane Van Ness wins that one 9 times out of 10.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think so.
yeah,
What do you think,
yeah.
Manny?
Yeah, I'd go McNeil, and Van Ness final, which I'd pick Van Ness there. Third, I have no idea. That could be almost anyone.
I'm gonna say Jackson Joy takes third.
You think so?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's interesting that nobody picked Caleb Tyus out of the 6 seed to even make it to the quarters.
I
But that
didn't
would
think
be
None
he,
of us did.
special. Wouldn't that be special? Southern Illinois, they get a an All-American.
That would be neat.
it'd be great. I hope he does. I have not watched them at all and
I have
just don't
I have
know.
Tyus. Tyus has to beat Ski on the blood match for me, and I have Swiderski beating Tyus. So I have not AAing, unfortunately. For is that South Edwardsville? Is that what that
Yeah,
is?
SIUE, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was Southern Illinois,
Yep. Southern Illinois University,
University of
Edwardsville.
Southern
Edwardsville.
Illinois. Okay. Yeah. Southern Illinois University Edwardsville. Yeah.
I told Carlo about that wrestling room, Manny. Have you seen that Edwardsville wrestling room?
The high school one, right? Is that what you're talking
It's
about?
like a club. It's like a
Club?
club room.
Yeah, it's really nice. I've seen like pictures or video of it. It's really nice.
When I visited Dylan Bollinger, who is going to be, I'm going to wait. The way I'm going to structure this show is I'm going to pull in his interview. I did an interview with him a couple weeks ago, so I'm going to add that into the show. But I went and visited him a couple years ago, and yeah, I got a chance. His sister works there,
Okay.
and Dylan works for the guy who owns that business. Yeah, it's like attached to like an aquatic center. He also does like a nonprofit where they're rebuilding, kind of like the East St. Louis kind of situation over there. So he's kind of working with a nonprofit over there, which is pretty cool. But no, the room's super nice. It's like 4 full mats, and it's got like bleachers all around. It's got like a weight room that's just for wrestling, like right outside. It's got all these offices, and that's just like a tiny little spot. And then there's like this giant aquatic center that's like attached to it.
Yeah, it looks like a college, one of the nicer college rooms if it was a college room. It looks really nice.
All right, 157s.
This is yeah, I mean this is another one.
It's
I
another
feel
crazy
like
one. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like one like kind of like last year's 57s. Which I'm gonna go. I think last year I was not gonna pick Tyler Kasek first, and then I remember talking to Carlo, and Carlo was very certain and convinced me, and I ended up picking Tyler Kasek to win this bracket. And I think I picked him first in my draft in our draft, and boy, that was not a good pick, dude. That was not a good
Well,
pick.
Brady had the same thought as me. In my defense, Brady and I both and I don't know. I think Brady's very smart. Not that I'm not trying to give myself a compliment. So when I heard Brady saying that, I'm like, all right, I think we both see the potential of like the sneaker pick of K-Sac being like a sleeper heavy favorite, which turned out to be absolutely wrong. But yeah,
I need to think with my gut more.
Well, I think
dude,
it's
that's usually
Duke's.
turns out best.
I think it's Duke's weight class. After how he looked in the Big Ten finals, it was just pretty crazy how he turned
He
it up
looks
there.
so good.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so here I
completely
have some
different
thoughts on Duke.
match.
I'll let you guys say your piece, but I have some thoughts on PJ.
I'd say Duke on the top side, even though I'm curious to see. I mean, it's gonna be tough for Larkin to get through Rabadu again, but I think that's a tough matchup for Rabadu. So I'd like to see Duke and Larkin just for entertainment to see how that matches up because that's interesting styles. Um, but on the bottom side, I got Taylor and I don't have Shapiro. I like Waters. I like Ty Waters making a statement.
Yes, yes, I
And
like that pick. He's
I don't know.
yeah, he's pretty good, Ty
I like
Waters.
Waters a lot. I know he's been out quite a decent amount this year, but I think he's pretty good. I don't know if he can get through Taylor. The same, another little bit clash of styles there, but I don't know. I'm probably going to lean towards Taylor and PJ in the finals. with PJ winning that again.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think Waters and Swisher, I think both I think can beat Shapiro, obviously. But I do like Jude Swisher, and I'm a big. We had Doug Zapp on the podcast a couple of years ago, and he's helping out over there, and I think it's been outstanding for their middleweights. But yeah, Ty Waters against Shapiro. I think Waters wins that one. I'm interested to see Waters up against Taylor potentially. I think both those guys are pretty strong and are kind of bullies sometimes on the mat. But I do think if you look at who has the best potential to beat Duke, I think Larkin's got a good chance. I think just because he's kind of awkward, which I think it back like to when Duke won World Team Trials against dude. Why am I blanking on his name now? Cornell guy,
Yanni,
huh?
Yanni.
Yeah, Yanni Diakomahalis. I mean, I think Larkin maybe is not the same exact style, but I think he can be weird in some positions, which I think maybe could throw Duke off a little bit. But I think Duke's a horse, and I actually have I think Larkin taken third on the backside.
No love for Shapiro.
No love.
Okay. So here are my thoughts on Duke. The word on the street is Duke has a hard time making 57s.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen Penn State wrestle in a tournament format that often this year, a two-day weigh-in tournament format where they're far removed from weigh-ins. He handled Cannon at Big Tens, but I think Cannon will be better. I think it'll be a closer match. He has Cannon Friday morning, so I think he still beats
Well, he's got to
Cannon.
get past
It'll
Cardenas
be
though, dude.
true. It could be Cardenas. It could absolutely be Cardenas. And if it's Cardenas, then it's still going to be a close match. That's going to be a tough one. But he also beat Cardenas. Here's the thing about these freshmen, though. I think that they get better as the season moves forward. I think Cardenas was Duke's first big match, first big breakout match where he had to beat a name. I think there should be separation. Again, you watch Duke wrestle in the Big Ten and he blitzed the field. He's wrestling on a whole different level right now. If he wrestles like that, like he's going to kind of walk through the bracket to the finals. But I do have that Friday morning match circled, whether it's Cardenas or Cannon. Same thing with Robidoux and Larkin. That's a match everybody's going to want to be glued to. I do have Larkin winning. Shapiro, I have over Waters. I'm not as you guys are a believer in Waters. I think he keeps matches too close. I think Shapiro is going to be too quick and dynamic for him. Here's something interesting though. I had Taylor over Shapiro in the semis, and then I crossed it out and I put Shapiro, and I think that's just like I don't know, just a heart bet. And then I have Duke over Shapiro in the finals. I think the Duke Larkin match is going to be interesting, but I think just the way they match up, like they both like 2-on-1s. Duke likes him from kind of a reattack situation, but he was hitting his 2-on-1 against Antrell off the hand fight. And so I think that the fact that Duke is very comfortable in a 2-on-1 is going to negate some of Larkin's stuff. And I think Duke has been a pretty proficient finisher. Like Taylor's hard to finish on, and he finished on Taylor 3 times in the Big Ten finals fairly easily, except for like maybe one leg attack where he just kind of threw him out of bounds when he was already winning by 9 or 10. I don't know. I think PJ has a good matchup is a good matchup skill set wise for Larkin.
Do you think Larkin could make the mat wrestling interesting at all, or no?
Um,
Potentially.
I think PJ is going to be fine. We haven't really seen him getting ridden too much,
Yeah.
but we'll see. He could make it interesting. He's not. I don't know. We also saw Larkin get teched by Jackson Joy, so and that was on the mat, obviously
Yeah.
from bottom. But
Yeah.
I think Larkin's also one of those guys who's gotten better as the season goes on. I mean, he's growing into the weight. The more he wrestles these big time matches, the more he adapts to that level of wrestling. So that'll be interesting as well. I have Larkin and Taylor for wrestling for third. I don't know who wins that match. That'll be interesting.
You guys watch that Larkin Shapiro match earlier in the year?
I
Yeah.
didn't see that one.
I did. That was like Larkin's first match of 57s, I want to say, or second match of 57s.
Yeah. Pretty early on when he went up. Yeah. That was a good match. It was a fun match to watch.
Yeah.
Good scrambles.
I think that was that the one where, and I could be wrong. I don't think I am though. Where God dang it, the ASU head coach, what's his face? Help me
Zeke,
out, guys.
Zeke Jones.
Zeke Jones. Zeke Jones gave a false countdown
did he?
when
We talked about that
yeah.
at our lift.
So Larkin is in on a takedown against Shapiro and has a single leg in the air, and Zeke Jones starts counting down early, like there's like maybe 8 seconds left, and Zeke Jones starts counting down from five, and so Shapiro relaxes, and then Larkin ends up getting the takedown at the end of the period because there's still like 3 seconds left on the clock, and it was kind of gamesmanship from Zeke Jones.
Big time.
And, yeah,
He's great there, man. I mean, Manny, do you have some good gamesmanship experience either from Zeke Jones or other coaches?
Nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, you
a,
can always just
a
do
false
the
countdown is
classic.
diabolical.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I mean, you can always just
Chaos.
throw the brick if you have it, just to give your guy a break. Like that's kind of a
That's what
classic
he's
one.
most. That's what Zeke Jones is most infamously known for is
Yeah,
the brick throw timeout.
yeah.
But the false countdown from Zeke Jones also that kind of sent me a little bit. That was
It's
classic
good to
Zeke
see.
Jones.
It's good to see he's still developing at this stage in his career still.
New edges, yeah.
Well, I
He
mean,
was
here's
also.
the thing.
I put this in the chat. I was going to say real quick. I put this in our chat. He was wrestling Robidoux in the Big 12 finals, and Robidoux was like in on a leg as the match expires. But Zeke Jones knows that Robidoux's not going to finish because he wasn't able to finish like the last five attempts, and he starts celebrating with like 10 seconds left as Robidoux's trying to finish a single leg. He's like jumping in the air with his hands above his head, like match over. And I just thought that was funny. It's like, dude, that guy had a single leg on your guy. Like, you're celebrating way too early. But I guess he kind of knew Larkin wasn't going to get that takedown. So it's funny.
Zeke has good wrestling IQ, man. Like I think on the one hand, I don't think he's super stoked on
He has
his
good
guys
good IQ
after.
overall.
He still talks to him after, like you can't do that. Like I can't believe that just happened, or that can't be something we do every single time. But when they're in the moment, I think he does what's best for his wrestlers every single time. Like when Zahid and Bo Jordan wrestled, and Zahid, they're in the finals at Cliff Keen, and Zahid is like on the side of the mat, and he's like doing like this, and Zeke's like no, and he's just like throw it, throw the brick, and he grabs the brick and throws it. And the ref's like his hands are up. He's like, I didn't think it was a takedown. Like, and we're watching it unfold. It was the most
Yeah.
funny thing ever.
The body language said everything. Yeah. Zeke Jones's body language is like the most hesitant brick throw ever. Like he did not want to throw that brick. He did anyways.
Yeah, but who won that match?
Zahid.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. There was a time too where where I think I was talking to Mendoza about Pac-12s, and it was like I can't remember the guy. They're 97 pounder in like 2016, but he's wrestling Reuben Franklin, and the match would always go back and forth. And it's the Pac-12 finals, and Zahid throws another brick, and because there was like a questionable call or whatever. And Mendoza's like, "How many bricks have you thrown this tournament?" And he's like, "Well, that's our last one." It's like they weren't keeping track of the bricks though, because he's been throwing all these bricks, and it could have been his third one, but still, yeah. No, I always appreciate the gamesmanship because it's fun, unless I have to deal with it.
Yeah,
Like we had
you love that stuff.
no, not if it's like affects me directly. Like when we had a coach that we were wrestling against in a duel where he like I think talked to the ref ahead of time and like bamboozled him and like said like he didn't write the guy's name on the score list of like who was gonna wrestle and then sent him out at a weight and we're like, dude, you never wrote his name down. And he's like, no, I'm announcing him right now and the ref already said it was okay. You remember that, Carlo? When we were wrestling, I'm
Yeah.
not going to say his name. I'm not going to give him any
Yeah.
respect right now, but it was funny. Like
Yeah.
it's funny in hindsight, and it ended up not really mattering. But
Is that the one where their kid ended up throwing up on the mat, or is that the different one that
no, I
106s?
think he ended up throwing up.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah. And
heavier weight match.
he ended up not finishing the match, right?
I think so. I think he ended up
Yeah.
pulling out, but
I think the ref put him on concussion protocol or something.
it was something weird.
But Yeah. Interestingly, I have Waters not AAing in this bracket. I have
Waters
I
is
think
my Shapiro to you.
like you have a heart, you have yeah, like a little spot in your heart for Waters.
Not a spot in the heart. I just think he is like I don't know. I just think
I,
Shapiro's all over the place, and I wouldn't. I like a sure thing.
yeah, I don't know if Waters is a sure thing though. I mean, I don't know. He only has 3 losses, but I don't know. I have Cardenas beating him on the bubble match. I mean, if he sees Cardenas, I don't think that's going to be a match he's going to want to see on the bubble off a scale. Cardenas is good at taking people to deep waters.
Wrestles hard
Nice.
pace, physical.
Did you do that
Yeah.
on purpose?
Do what?
Take? Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Take
waters.
waters into deep
Oh,
waters.
no, I did not. That's good.
No,
Good
you did that on
catch.
purpose.
I did not
Yeah.
get that one.
Manny,
Yeah.
he
Nice.
does this all the time and then pretends like
I
it's like
have
that's a
a
part of the simulation, man.
I'm able to incept you, the young warthog over here. I have Zerbin beating I have Zerbin beating Webster on the bubble too. Zerbin's a little bit slept on. I think he was ranked as high as third at some parts of the season, and now
Dude,
he's
I
in
don't
as a
like
12
Zerbin
seed.
either. That's like another weird pick.
I think he's
I
hurt though,
know,
isn't
but he has a
he?
He's
He
good
does it
hurt.
path.
out of Big 12s.
Yes. And his
I don't
match
Mm, yeah,
was
I
his
don't think
match
he's healthy.
over who was it? Was it Blockus? Who do you
yeah.
wrestle? Block? Not Block, not Blockus. Block. I mean like that one could have gone either way too. I think he's just I mean, he's weird. And remember when he was the 2 seed a couple of years ago? And I think was he the 2 seed? He was the 2 seed. And he ended up not AAing. He was at Northern Colorado.
I,
He's
yeah. I don't
pretty
know if he was a
good.
two seed.
He's pretty good. I just think he's not healthy. I think that's just gonna be tough at this weight.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he didn't have to wrestle Webster on the bubble if he gets that far. If he gets that far.
Yeah.
All right, 165s.
Is
Mitchell
this
Messenbrink. All right,
yeah, is this the
174s. Just kidding.
This is is this the next topic weight?
I mean,
There's some interesting matchups, and we can talk about Iowa's finalist streak.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Caliendo and Downey, I think, is going to be a scrappy one. I think potentially in the quarterfinals, I think Caliendo's a little bit more dynamic, has more ways to score than Downey does. Though I do like Downey, and by the way, I do have Downey beating LJ from Nebraska. He's another guy that I think got banged up at Big Tens, and yeah, he's had a couple weeks maybe to recover, but I really like Downey's wrestling ability. Um, and I think you have Brignola and Blaze in the quarters on the other
Mhm.
side of that bottom one. I like Max Brignola. I think he's super scrappy.
He's
But I
tough.
think yeah, I think I also really like Blaze too, and I think it's going to be Blaze Caliendo uh, in that semis.
I have
yeah,
the same as you. I have Downey over Arujo. So, and then I have Caliendo over Downey. And then, did you say if you have who's going to win that bottom semi, whether it's Caliendo or Blaze?
It's a toss up. I mean, I think it's going to be very competitive. I don't know who's going to win.
Well, Downey or Manny, who do you have between? Well, I mean, maybe you don't have either making the
Blaze.
semi. Who do you have in the? Okay, you have Blaze making the semi. You have
I
Caliendo making the semi.
Yep, and I got Blaze winning that.
Okay, that's Iowa's best shot for a finalist, by the way. I mean, it's not
Correct.
their only shot, but it's their best shot. So then we can talk about the streak of finalists. So I don't know if you're
Yeah,
aware, Manny, but I think their finalist streak goes back to like the early '90s or something like that. It's like,
yeah, I think 30 something years, right? I just saw that actually, like 34 years or something.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's if they don't get someone in the finals, I don't think it's a huge deal. But I mean,
It's more anti-Iowa propaganda for sure. I mean, anytime
All the
they're
nitties out there.
yeah,
yeah,
but at the same time, it's like I mean, I remember Iowa's heyday where like they wouldn't celebrate second place at all. So celebrating finalists now is already a notch down from where they've historically been.
Oh yeah, they took what, fourth or fifth at Big Tens,
Yeah,
and there is like Iowa people on social media celebrating it because they actually had a good Big Tens. Like they had a decent Big
they
Tens,
did. I agree.
and people like called them out immediately. Like, you guys are celebrating fourth place. You guys are celebrating that you placed behind Penn State, Ohio State, Nebraska. Good job, Iowa. So it's
Yeah.
like, like kind of what you're saying. Like, they're gonna find a way to
Yeah.
nitpick at everything, and like, I mean, that's just where they're at this year, and taking fourth and having the Big Ten tournament they had was good. Like, it was good. They had a good
Well,
tournament.
they've been so good for so long. So it's like, say they don't get someone in the finals. Now? It's gonna be like, well, 40 something years of being having someone in the top three. Like that's gonna be the next thing.
Yeah,
Like,
that'll be, yep,
yeah,
yep,
like it just
yeah.
kind of. I mean, they had for their standards a rough year, but they're still a great program. It kind of is what it is, but he is their
The
best shot though.
the interesting thing about Caliendo Blaze is that I feel like Blaze being away from weigh-ins is to his advantage. I'm not sure how much weight he's cutting for 65s this year, but he was a huge 57-pounder last year. He's a huge 65-pounder this year. Um, I like Caliendo in that match, but I can definitely see Blaze winning just because he's going to be feeling a lot better, having to compete so late in the day in the semifinals.
I
Yeah,
have whoever's on the backside getting third, either
and
Caliendo
I
or
mean,
Blaze.
I'm taking Blaze. I don't feel completely confident. He had that weird loss at Big Tens to Barbosa.
Yeah.
Had he not, I'd feel way more confident. But I like Blaze. I think he's got good stuff. He wrestles hard. Been there, had a good run last year, just experience. Um, but yeah, I mean that weird loss at Big Tens kind of makes me question it a little bit. But
Yeah.
What about on the
Nobody's
top side?
mentioned D Lockett, by the way.
Dude, longest match in NCAA history, I think. It was like over 70 minutes. Because they had a concussion protocol, I think, and then they had the tornado
that's
warning.
yeah,
You
that would
what?
suck. I forgot about that. Yeah, that would suck to get pulled off the mat for a tornado.
And then you have to go back and wrestle a third period. I mean, what
You
about
know,
those ones where like there'd be arbitration and they'd have to go back and re-wrestle a match? Would you consider that to be the longest match too? Or the match had
no.
ended and you had to go redo that?
Well, it says it. You said it in the name. Re-wrestle. You're
Got
wrestling
it.
a whole different match.
Got it. And it'll have a pause. This was they
Yeah.
hit the pause button.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
on the Stilly Boys vlog, I think it was Tyler Caldwell, I guess, was talking about how the basically the siren started going on, and there was an announcement while the match was going on, and the refs were going to finish the action and then pause it. So the action, they're like, wanting, hey, wrestle, 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 and then I think they talked to the coaches and were like, hey, if you guys want to keep wrestling, we can finish the match or we can take a pause. And I think Metcalf told Caldwell is like, "Hey, we'll keep wrestling," and Caldwell's like, "No, we're good." And then they went to the locker room. It was funny. I think they asked Lockett, and Lockett's like, "No, let's get out of here."
Well, Lockett, he'd have to beat Nico. Is that what it is to get
Or
to?
I
Yeah.
mean, hey, back up a second.
Yeah.
You have two California guys in that second round between Andrew Sparks and Nico Ruiz.
Yeah,
I
Sparks
think
had a
that'll
good
be a good
tournament.
match. Yeah, yeah, he did.
He took third, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it,
I
it
mean,
could. Go ahead, Manny.
no, I'm trying to think out loud. I mean, I think it's a fairly close match. I don't think either of them has a lot of separation on the other in any one phase of wrestling, Matt neutral defense, but I just think I don't know, Nico's had a pretty good year, so I'm just gonna probably side on the Nico side of things, but who knows? It wouldn't surprise me if Sparks beat him.
I
Yeah,
have
I have Lockett over Nico in the quarters. Lockett making the sems and losing a mess. But Nico
he's
did
kind of
put in the
like a
blueprint
head
of how to
case
beat D.
sometimes.
Who, D?
Yeah.
He's a head case, but he's also a gamer. I mean, when he wants to go out there and get a takedown, when he's feeling excited about wrestling, And I think when things are really on the line, he goes out there and gets it. I think his match with Nico was more of an outlier than a trend. But Nico
Can
did put the blueprint on how to beat D.
can Lockett make it at all interesting with Messenbrink if they wrestle?
They
No.
wrestled in freestyle, and D took him down with like a flying duck. But I think Messenbrink still ended up teching him like late in the second period. Um, but he's tough, man. He's tough to get to.
Yeah.
I mean, does he hand fight the greatest? Probably not. Uh, does he have a high offensive output? Not really. I mean, he has some great takedown ability, but he's not putting up multiple takedowns against good guys. And Messenbrink again, he's kind of like Mendez. He's just going to keep coming. So you can take down Messenbrink and still get major decision.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna be able to match Messenbrink's pace and his pressure. I mean, you might be able to take him down, but he could still storm back and get you.
Yeah, and he doesn't. The thing about Messenbrink is like D has a really good reattack. It's hard to reattack Messenbrink.
Yeah, he
I don't
moves
know if
well.
it's like it's the length of his arms, the penetration of his shot. Like it's just hard to like once he gets to you, once he gets past your head and hands, it's hard to slide off and find an angle or down block and find an angle. So it kind of
I,
takes away one of D's greatest weapons.
how did Carr take Messenbrink down? Was it off a reattack?
Double
It was
leg.
a double. It was a double like in the first 20 seconds. Messenbrink just got a little careless with his hands and his contact, and
Hmm.
Carr just stayed in position and just blasted through him.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't
Almost
there
double
another
pursuit a
takedown in
little
there
bit.
though?
There's another takedown. Yeah, there's two takedowns I want to say in the first period. I forget the second one though. Might have been a reattack.
I think it was.
He double
Yeah,
legged him and turned him, didn't he?
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
My wrestling memory is not great sometimes.
All right, you want to move on?
Yeah, I have Blaze taking third in this bracket.
You know who I have in the blood rounds? I think could potentially get on the podium is Barbosa.
Let's see.
I think I have him having to possibly wrestle either Hepner or Bianchi.
Let me see. 215.
Those are
I
good
have
matchups.
Barbosa having to wrestle Bianchi. I
Yeah,
have Bianchi in that.
Those are good
but
matchups for him. Those are winnable matches for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of spots at 165s on the podium that are up for grabs. Like
Yeah.
there's like no like I mean that's kind of how it is at a lot of weights, but I mean I have Nico, Bianchi, Brignola, and Downey on the bubble, losing in the round of 12. And the guys coming through, like your Arujals and your Barbosas and your Sparks, like they have a legit shot of beating any of those guys. It could be any of them. So
Connor Newton too. I think he's kind of inconsistent, but I think he wrestles tough. Who else do I have? I have
Mantanona's in there. He's tricking. He can beat some guys.
at
Um,
74.
yeah. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong way. You're right. I moved ahead.
ha, 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 tricked us. We can go
Okay.
74s. What do you think about Mantano and Facundo?
Um, I
I
almost
I,
citing
I like
Mantanona.
Mantanona.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Mantanona in that. Facundo has a hard time finishing. Or like Facundo has like some tricky stuff. Um, but where Mantanona is good, Facundo kind of stinks. So I just like the matchup for Mantanona.
I agree.
Yeah, same. Wasn't Garrett Thompson like wasn't he a high seed last year from
Yes,
Ohio?
he was. He's not bad. He's a good wrestler. I think he's just not like dynamic like Mantanona. He's pretty um conventional, gonna hand fight fairly hard, nothing crazy on his feet. I think he rides pretty hard. Might be a leg rider if I remember correctly, but
He
yeah.
is. Yeah, he's a good leg rider.
Yeah.
That's kind of where he made his bones when he had his AA run. I mean, you also have Danny Wask, who was fourth maybe last year, coming in at the
Yeah,
15 seed. 15 is even a seed.
I haven't
And
beaten Ruiz.
really?
Yeah.
Good call.
The, wow. I do not.
you think how far? Okay, do you have Ruiz in the finals?
No, I don't.
Do you have him losing
I
to Minto?
no. I'm
Do you have him
losing to
losing to
Steed.
Steed?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I have Steed making the seventh and losing to Minto. I have Minto in the finals against Levi.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's one where I feel like Waskin Ruiz I think is it's not like and not like 100%, but I feel like it's going to be close. And then I think Steed Waskin Ruiz I think it could be a good one. But I have Minto winning this bottom side. I also have MJ beating Singleton to get into the quarterfinals.
Yep,
I'm not sure
I
if
have that.
he's good. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to take out Minto. But I do
No,
think it's going to be a good match.
MJ is one of those guys who has a puncher's chance. Though he's kind of like we talk about knockout punches. Like if Vega has that, that body crunch cradle.
Yeah.
MJ kind of has some stuff where he can go feet to back. He's always sending something, whether it's from the bottom position or from neutral. So MJ can kind of, if you're better on paper, he can still have a chance to beat you.
He's got some stuff on top too. I got a chance to roll with him a little bit last summer. He's got a good little suck back, but I think sometimes he kind of over wrestles certain positions. But I just wonder against Minto. I mean, Minto is pretty tough and pretty strong. If he's gonna be able to get to some of those positions.
I think the interesting thing about this bracket is more the bubble matches. I have Wask against Patrick Kennedy on the bubble. I have Montanona and Singleton. And then I have Facundo and MJ Guyton all in the bubble.
Yeah.
And Ruiz, who do I have wrestling Ruiz? I have Ruiz on the bubble match. Because he loses to Steed. So
Yeah.
Ruiz would wrestle 222 or
He could have like
221.
Pinto or Carter
It'll either
Pierre.
be Lamer or Schubert, I think, for Ruiz, which I mean he should probably win both those matches fairly easily. But the other ones are interesting, like Wask and PK. Like one of those AAs are not AAing this year if it plays out that way. And then Singleton and Montanona is an interesting one. And then again, Facundo and MJ, that's an interesting one.
I have Kennedy beating Karkla in the quarterfinals.
Do you?
Yeah. And then Karkla
PK,
on the backside.
I don't
Patrick Kennedy had Karchla's number last year, but this year Karchla has Patrick Kennedy's number. So it's
agree.
interesting. It's a coin flip.
I think that's Karp's match. I don't know, just but they could go the other
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. I have Karchla winning it, but I wouldn't be surprised if PK won, obviously.
If you had to pick Manny who ends up getting third, who would you think?
I was thinking Karp's.
Mm, yeah. I have Ruiz.
Getting third?
Yeah. Yeah. He's gonna have to beat Facundo or MJ on my bracket to get there. And then he's gonna have to beat
Karkla or
Karchla.
no? Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have to beat Karchla, um, which I think he'll do. I think the bubble match might be harder on the top side than getting to third. So like whoever wins between PK Wask, they're probably gonna be in for third. Um, and then whoever wins, well, yeah, Ruiz is gonna have to beat Karchla. But yeah,
This is very top heavyweight, I feel like. Like I think like yeah, like Haynes and Minto I think are obviously the two clear finalists, at least in my opinion. Um
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
not sure if Minto has a chance on beating Haynes. I think it could be competitive, it could be close, but I don't think he beats him.
it's interesting that none of us are giving Ruiz enough credit. I figured one of us would. I mean, undefeated. What did he take last year? Third? He was a high AA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. He'll third or fourth. He's
Yeah.
good. I don't know. Probably some recency bias. I haven't watched a lot of those Ivy schools, and I've watched a lot more like Big 12, Big 10, even ACC more.
For
But
sure,
Yeah.
recency bias. He beat Kevin Devas, I think maybe.
Yeah, it's not I mean, that's a good win, but not like a high profile win.
No, but Devos was like the 2 seed, I think, right?
I think
Are you talking about last year?
Yeah, I'm trying to find
Oh,
the
yeah,
date
yeah,
on
yeah.
that.
I don't know if he's a 2 seed last year, but yeah. Last year that was a big one. I just think Mento's hard to get to. Like he's really big and he's up a weight from last year.
you
And
know who
he's
you know who he reminds me of a little bit. Is oh
Kendrick
my
Maple?
gosh. No, but similar a little bit. Cuban that
Well,
wrestled for Italy defected.
Chamizo?
Chamizo,
Yeah.
big legs, freaking strong legs, defends hard.
Yeah.
Um, kind of similar athleticism,
Those
but
Cubans, man.
yeah, Levi's probably too much, but I don't know. He kind of hung in there a little bit in Big Ten finals.
Yeah. What was the score of that?
Uh, I'm just gonna say off the top of my head, like 6-1 or something like that. Until
Levi won 6-1.
let me double check the interweb.
I feel like it was a one takedown match.
Oh, it was 2-1, I guess.
Oh yeah, he won on like a weird call.
Ryan time?
No, he didn't
Stalling?
think stalling.
Oh, that sounds about right. I think people were complaining about a push out.
Yeah, I do. I think I kind of had to play catch up with some of the wrestling because I was coaching a boys tournament, a high school tournament that Saturday, Saturday and Sunday. But I do remember hearing Mark Manning just yelling, just just like call, like make a stall call. I think like he got dinged, Minto got maybe dinged for stalling at one point, and then Manning started complaining that the other guy, that Haynes should have got called for stalling for something similar. Um,
Dude, Manning was fired up with the Big Tens. He got on the refs at the end of Taylor PJ too. They hit PJ or they hit Taylor with a stall call at the end of the match. PJ had a single leg in the air and kind of walked Taylor off the mat with it, and they hit Taylor with a stall call. That's like a really weird situation to be hit with a stall call. Like, my leg's in the air, like I can't do anything. I think they probably think he turned and kicked away, which is why they gave it to him. It didn't really
that's what
look
I
like that
saw.
though. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was marginal. I didn't think they have to hit him with a stall call there, but it gave PJ the major, so whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think refs do it sometimes just because, yeah, I don't know. They feel like they have to. But it's like, dude, just let these guys wrestle. Unless it's very egregious, you don't need to call that.
Yeah,
think,
yeah. There's
um,
go ahead.
no, that whole stall, I don't know if they revised that rule, but when they first started calling like the edge, the push out, they were supposed to call it both ways. If you just push the guy out without like any wrestling action, you're supposed to get called as the guy doing the pushing. And they did that for maybe a year or two, and that's kind of all completely gone now. Now it's like if you just get pushed out, you're getting called,
Yeah.
which is annoying. Then when you see a guy actually shoot on the edge and shoot a guy out, they don't give it all the time. You're rewarded more for just pushing the guy out.
Yeah,
That's why you got to
yeah.
ground yourself.
Shooting the guy out's action. So like doing an offensive move that makes you go out of bounds doesn't get a stall call.
It's
That's like
annoying.
counterintuitive. And and
You,
the, and
yeah.
the other end of that is sometimes you'll shoot two, three times. I've seen this too, but you end up after the third shot with your butt to the out of bounds, and then you get pushed out. So you just shot two or three times, but then you give up a stall call because you walk out of bounds afterwards.
You created all the action, all the effort that got the guys to the edge, and then you got pushed out for the last 10% of the action
Yes,
there,
of the
and you
sequence.
just like
Yeah.
it's dinged.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen that
There's
too.
something that I see a lot from coaches where it's like their guy will get somebody to the edge and they'll say shoot him off, shoot him off, shoot him off, and then the guy will shoot him off and they're like yelling stalling. I'm like, dude, that's an action call. That's not like you're not going to get a stalling call there for the out of bounds stalling. You might get a regular stall call, but I think they're looking for an out of bounds stall call. But in order to get one of those, I feel like it needs to be like a shot and then you kind of recover up to like the hip and then kind of walk the guy to balance for that to be a little bit more legitimate stalling.
Yeah, that's it. And if you're a coach, if any coaches listen to this, that is a great thing to probably have to coach through. I know it's kind of a niche situation, but
It's
if you're looking to
common.
manage matches and manage manage stall calls and manage the mat space, you're gonna want to take a shot, build up to the body, and then walk them out. If you're looking for stall calls, you're not gonna want to shoot them out.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. It grinds my gears.
Yeah, Well, I mean, it's just playing to the rule set. It's not. It is. I mean, if you get shot out of bounds, technically, there's a better argument that you should be hit with a stall call. But just with the rule set, the way they're calling it, you just have to be aware as a coach and know how to coach that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, all right, 184s. I think this is, I don't want to say a fun weight. I think Carla had posted or had sent something in like our little group chat, but he put like it was like a stick figure dude like poking Ferrari when he's like in like a 3 point stance. He's like score points, like come on, like do something. And I feel like that in a nutshell is his weight class. It's like who can score the least amount of points. But I think if you look at like maybe the contenders out of here, who can possibly generate the most offense, and I'm gonna say Max McAnally, baby. That's why I think he's gonna end up taking this one.
Yeah, I'm picking Max. Obviously, a lot of bias there, but I think Sinclair is a tough matchup for him. But he's beaten him before. He beat him this summer. I think he can get through him, but I think that's the trickiest match for everyone is Sinclair. Um, Welsh probably has the clearest path to the finals on the other side, but
Yeah.
I don't know. He still has some tricky ones. Like he's got Fishback over there, and Mantanona, who both have wrestled him pretty tough this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, shoot, would you rather have those two or Sinclair and Ferrari on your side? I mean, obviously would pick those other guys, but no, I got Max over Welsh. I think Sinclair, even though he lost to Ferrari, I feel like he's better. I think he takes third.
Yeah, Sinclair can generate more offense than Ferrari can. It's kind of like there was a high school kid a couple of years ago where it was like his first 2 years of high school, he'd wrestle on a knee, and it would drive me crazy. It's like, what's your plan? You know, it's like, how are you gonna go? How are you gonna go take people down? I mean, you go down on a knee either because you only have one leg, or you can't generate any offense, or you're trying to protect a lead. Like you're coming out the gate on a knee.
I mean, Angelo has offense. He just chooses not to be offensive.
I mean, maybe he's hurt.
It's
Maybe he's got an injury that we don't know about.
Nah, he's always wrestled that way.
Yeah, he's got a good sweep single, and then he's got that he go to the other leg with the knee pull. That's really good too. And he kind of fakes one, goes the other way. But yeah, it's good
He's
when
got
he goes.
he's got stuff off the underhook. He's got stuff off the wrist. He's got like a good drag single and a good wrist tap single. And he can go to both, like you said, knee pull and sweep. He has his holds where when he gets there, he can get to legs. He just doesn't know how to hand fight to his positions very well, or chooses not to. Maybe he just chooses not to hand fight to his positions very well. And it's hard to hand fight when you're on a knee the whole time. You gotta freaking have your feet in the mat with your knees bent to be able to apply pressure and get to your holds. But it's interesting. Nobody has Conway. I have Fishback making the semis. I think that's kind of what Manny was alluding to, with Welsh beating Fishback. I have Sinclair winning the bracket. I wanted to get Manny's thoughts on why McAnally is struggling a little bit more this year. Do you think it's a combination of things, or do you think it's one thing? Like I have my thoughts, but McAnally's definitely he's not having the same production as last year.
No. I don't know if I have an exact reason. I just think guys wrestled him a little bit more conservative, like they know him more. Last year, I think he still surprised a few people. He's got a great re-attack, and when guys attack, he can start opening up matches. And I think guys wrestled him a little bit more conservative in it, especially the
Yeah,
better guys. He still probably could have gone under more. I don't know exactly why he didn't, but I think just comparing this year to last year, I think he surprised some guys, got takedowns early, then they had to come attack him, and he countered really, really well and just opened up matches. But um, I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel like I think he still scored a lot aside from a few guys, a few matches. I know he had like close matches with Fishback, a couple, All Red one, um, Sinclair, but everyone else he kind of killed, and I think that's the whole field too, though. It's not just him. You know, Sinclair beats up everyone, but then he'll wrestle like Zack Ryder to a fairly tight match because
yeah.
he's, you know, just better than everyone else. So I don't know. No, I have thought about that. I just don't know exactly what it is. Maybe just better competition this year.
I think it's a combination. I mean, you're saying the same thing I'm thinking. I think he's really good when you start trying to make contact. He's so explosive at like part of his system revolves around making contact and pulling the trigger right away. Like he'll bring his hands up to go to your wrist and your collar and then disappear to either side. And people just aren't bringing their hands up to meet him anymore. They're just keeping their hands down. So they're kind of like taking away his system to a large degree. And then the other part of it is what you're saying. The weight class just got tougher. I mean, you got Ferrari and you got Welsh back and here, and Sinclair's new, and those guys are just better than the rest of the field, and it added some pretty crazy depth. So
I
now
mean,
you're
it
kind of
was tough
stuck.
last year, though. I mean, you had Starochi, you had
That
Dustin
Kaizen.
Plott, and then you had
Parker,
yeah, Parker
Par-
Kakaisen.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it fell off after that, after those few guys were this year. I think, your Fishbacks and Mantanona and Allreds are, Allred was in there last year, but I think they're tougher than the bottom half of that bracket was last year.
yeah. There's more
Yeah.
depth, a lot more
I
depth.
do like how McAnally. I felt like they made some good adjustments for Big Tens when they were wrestling Rocco Welsh. I mean, he got in right at the end there, and a couple seconds away from winning that match. I think if he wins that, I mean, he probably is the two seed after that, and they probably put Aiden
Yeah,
as the
but
one. But I thought he
yeah,
made a good adjustments using a little more level changes and fakes, especially later in the match. Where a takedown kind of decides it. Where I think Rocco's hands came up a little bit, and that's how he was able to get to his legs.
yeah, yeah. I mean that. I don't mean to put the scouting report on Max. I don't think I'm revealing anything too secret. Like
Rocco is
whatever.
gonna watch this and be like, "All right."
Yeah,
Sinclair is gonna watch this and be like,
don't
"Yeah."
don't bring your hands up, guys. Don't
Yes.
meet his contact. Keep your hands down. Build into your contact. Yeah, whatever.
No, Kale and Casey Cunningham are watching this for sure.
Yeah.
All right,
But
we
yeah, I
got a
have
couple
Sinclair
more.
winning it.
Got a couple more ways. You have Sinclair winning it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right.
I think whoever gets out of that bottom side, I mean, like you guys kind of said, you err on the side of offense, and McAnally and Sinclair both have more offense than Welsh, and it's going to be between those two. And Sinclair is just my feel. It's a coin flip between he and Max, but I'm going to go with Sinclair. And again, whoever wins that semifinal, I just again, this is my PSU bias, but I have PSU losing.
You don't think you don't think Ferrari can beat Sinclair again in that quarter?
I think you can. I don't think you will. I'd prefer to see. I think I just prefer to see Sinclair win over
Yeah.
Ferrari. Um, you want the offensive guy to win. Will he win? I don't know, but you want him to win.
All right,
Who
we
do you
got
have for third?
two more weight classes. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I have Max for third over Ferrari. Actually, I don't think would they be split up? Ferrari drops down 372, 372 bottom side. Max would lose 516. Yeah, I have them both for wrestling for third, and I have Max beating Ferrari.
You got Matt Denona on that side potentially as well.
Yeah, I think he has a good path to A. I think he'll do it.
Wait, Matt Denona? I think he beats Conway or Dean. I mean, Isaac Dean, I think is tough, but I think he beats those guys.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think Isaac Dean's banged up too. I think he defaulted at Big 12 as well, if I'm not mistaken. But he's good. I'd pick Dean over Conway if I thought he was healthy.
I feel like Iowa State had a lot of guys default.
Yeah. I'm assuming they're banged up. I don't know, maybe it's strategic, but I can't imagine they would just sit guys
I
just to
I don't
mean,
know.
sit
This
them.
this feels no. I don't think Dresser would sit his guys. I
I don't
do
think so
think
either.
I do think this is kind of again. I'm not trying to talk crap, but I do think it's kind of what's been happening with Iowa State over the last several years, where they have a great regular season and they kind of come into the postseason banged up, and they end up underperforming a little bit. I think Dresser's just old school and kind of grinds his guys down probably a little bit more than he needs to.
Yeah, I can see that. I think I mean it's funny. I mean, what happened with Frost? I mean, Frost was I think he was either I think he was sick. He was sick for a little bit. He had like walking pneumonia or something like that. And then I think came back and then ended up hurting himself. And then in that little time period, his weight kind of just ballooned up and it was like, sorry, buddy. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you kind of just touch on what you said, Carl, I mean, you think like Younger got hurt one year, PJ got hurt. Who else
Yeah,
got hurt? Obviously Isaac Dean. Um, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it's a
I think
situation where
Swiderski was hurt one
different guys.
year.
Swiderski got
Um,
hurt.
who else? Echemendia had a hard time getting through a season where he was kind of the black guy at 149s who was always really good.
Yeah, PJ.
Oh yeah. He was always kind of going in the postseason, like ranked real high or seeded real high, and then not performing. And they all just kind of like burnt out. Just the eye test. Obviously I have no information to prove that. They just kind of limp into the end of the season. Carr always looked
Is
fresh
that
though.
Manny, when you're coaching college, was that something that like are you aware of like a pitch count or like hey yeah we need to be aware of guys' weigh-ins like during the season or like how would you kind of implement all that in like training cycles?
Yes, individually. I don't think you can blanket the whole team. Some guys just benefit from more matches, staying on a routine. Some guys, you see them kind of starting to get banged up. You see them burning out, slowing down, especially when the effort's there and you see them like slowing down, like athleticism, some of their pop is getting
Hmm.
slower. I think it's a good
Yeah,
time to start pulling back. Even just body language, you can tell guys that are still excited they're coming into practice and they're still looking crisp, and guys, the effort's there and they're just physically not looking crisp. Like, yeah, why keep pushing it? Especially as you get closer to the end of the year.
yeah, yeah. We kind of made guys sit on the right past the halfway point. We kind of hold back on some of their weigh-ins, even if they want to compete. We just tell them, nah, take the weekend off.
Yeah, I mean, it's great when you have guys that you have to pull back. That makes it easy to make those calls. If it's a guy who's kind of flaky already, it's kind of
Yeah,
harder.
yeah,
It's harder,
for
but
sure. Yeah.
but yeah, you just always kind of got to know your guys.
Well, yeah,
All
we
right.
found a couple of years ago. Sorry, we
No,
found
you're
a couple
good.
of year, we found a couple of years ago that our guys were getting hurt, kind of like in the same part of the season, and
The sick
that was
too.
like, whether you're sick, but like we were having a lot of shoulder stuff. Like we could have been sponsored by KT Tape the last couple of years, and I just kind of made a decision, like, all right, it keeps happening in this time of the season. We got to make some adjustments, and if they keep their shoulders are getting banged up because they're doing consecutive weigh-ins and a lot of hard matches, and you kind of want to save whatever it is, whether it's sickness or shoulder issues or back issues. Just like you said, just kind of keep them fresh and excited to wrestle and compete.
Well, I think the counter argument to that is, I mean, it was kind of like this in college, but sometimes you'll have gaps between competitions. And if you do that, it's like, yeah, it's great because the kids get to kind of like relax a little bit and they don't have to worry about making weight. The con to that is now they get to relax a little bit and they don't have to worry about making weight and they
Yes.
put on a bunch more weight. And that's why I think a lot of these
Yes.
injuries happens with at least the guys on our team is like, okay, we don't have to weigh in this weekend. Put on like freaking 10 pounds. And it's like, you don't need to do that and
Yeah.
now they're sucking down for the end of the year, and they have to make weight, um, 6 times potentially at the end of the year. And it's like you don't need to do that. Now you jack up your shoulder, you jack up your knee, your joints just hurt. You got that wear and tear on you.
Yep. Yeah, that is the other side of the argument. Competition keeps you sharp. So, Manny was saying, if you're a little bit flaky, you got to keep the flake sharp. You can't be away from competition for too long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
routine is really good for some guys, and giving them a break may mess up that routine. If you can keep them, Monday I come in, whatever what my weight is, I'm going to compete this day. My weight starts coming down, and they just have every week set. A lot of times, there's guys who that's better, even if they're doing more. But I mean, gotta know your guys at the end of the day.
All right, we're ready for 197s.
What do you think?
This
Um,
could be another next topic. Wait,
I think it is.
I don't. Okay, I like Rocky Elam. I think he could potentially challenge Barr. I don't. I think it's kind of like not quite a Mendez level or like a Haynes level, but I think it's maybe like whatever. Like it's a little bit closer. I think. But yeah, far Barr is bar none the heavier favorite here. That was so forced, but that's fine.
Good
yeah.
one.
I think Barr has 100% bonus rate, but he hasn't
Bonus is Elam
wrestled.
in the finals.
But he hasn't wrestled Elam. He hasn't wrestled Novak. I don't think. Um, I don't think he's wrestled Sasso. So it's kind of hard to say, the level of competition. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think all Elam will be his biggest challenge. I wish Novak was actually the 3 seed. I think Novak's probably the true 3 seed, even though what is he, fifth? He's fifth. I think he's the third best guy. I'm not super high on Sonny Sasso, even though he's wrestling really good right now. Um, I do think Barr has a high probability of getting bonus though against Elam.
I mean, I think Stephen Little could potentially make. I mean, Stephen Little and uh, Barr had a good match at Southern Scuffle. I mean, I think Little ended up kind of getting a little bit banged up, but that was competitive.
Yeah, yeah. I think Elam's path could be a little rocky.
Nice,
There you go. You got it.
nice. Okay, all right.
But I don't know. I don't think he's that far separated from some of the guys on his side. I can see. Didn't he have a pretty tight match with Merrill already this year in
hmm
their duel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Super close
yeah,
match. He
very
beat
tight.
Merrill. Little
Yeah,
could do that.
Merrill couldn't finish.
That Yep, that Rademacher's pretty good. Maxed out, I think, is pretty good pit.
hmm
Um,
Bergie, Minnesota guy.
Bergie's tough. I mean, you got
Hmm.
some guys that can give him a close match. I still think he probably edges them out, but they're going to be right there. He can't have like a down match and even get through. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean he was pitch counted this year. Barr was in a sense pitch counted, which I think is why you're seeing Barr look so fresh. He didn't start his season until like what, like late December, early
Southern
January.
Scuffle was like his first big competition. I think he might have had a duel before that.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then Elam has been smartly pitch counted. So I think they're gonna be coming in hopefully feeling healthy and fresh. But yeah, I mean, there's so many landmines. I actually have Stout over Merrill, and I have Rademacher losing early too. I have Novak making the semis over Sasso. What
Yeah,
about
I could see that.
yeah?
I'd agree with that.
What about Arnold and Rademacher round one?
That's, I mean, I have that one circled.
I think that's a close match. I mean, Arnold can win those tight, grimy matches. He didn't do a whole lot, and he doesn't give guys opportunities to do a whole lot.
Yeah,
It's going to be a close one, but I think Rademacher beats him.
I mean, his gas tank has been so suspect this season. He's lost a lot of his matches because at the end of the match it was just close, and then he'll lose in like an overtime or double overtime, like pretty consistently. And I could see Arnold getting to an overtime or double overtime and winning there.
McDaniel at the 11 seat's dangerous too. I think McDaniel's pretty good. I mean, he was an All-American last year.
Hmm. I
So,
have McDaniel over the winner of that match. Whoever wins between Rademacher and Arnold,
yeah,
McDaniel beating either one of them.
but I don't know.
And what you have,
I pick Elam, but I could see him not making it. And
Yeah,
Novak and lose the bar, and I don't know. Third, it's kind of tough. I don't know who I'd take for third.
I mean, it's
I
going
got
to be in
Novak.
some blood round matchups too.
Yeah, I think Novak takes third, but could be little.
Yeah, I mean, both those guys are, I think, different stylistically. Like Stephen Little is very like kind of like your classic 197 strong position, kind of moves forward. Novak is very unorthodox and puts guys in some weird spots, but Yeah, I mean I mean, they're probably that might be like a third, fourth, or like a console semis potentially.
Hmm. I'm trying to look at Merrill's path here to AA. I have him losing to Stout Friday morning.
I like the
Let's see.
California guys though, well represented at this weight class.
Yeah,
Angelo
for sure.
Posada, and
Oh,
then
I like Posada. I think Posada will get on the podium. I like him.
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be
It's,
cool.
I have him making the quarters and losing to Barr. I have him over DJ Parker.
Yeah.
I agree.
Let's see. That will put him, if he loses 373, um, he's going to have to wrestle possibly either Arnold or Rodemacher or Lehman. It's going to be Arnold or Rodemacher probably to AA, which you can do. I like
Yeah.
his path.
You got Remy Cotton down there too. I forgot about Remy Cotton. He had a big win over who did he wrestle? He had a big upset win from Rutgers. I can't remember. Maybe in the duel. Yeah, I'm blanking. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. He could give Rocky, I think, a good match that second round.
You guys have Merrill making the quarters?
Yes. Yeah, I think he beat Stout. I think what man you said Stout probably.
I think Stout's good. I think that's a tough match for Merrill. I actually would probably pick Stout over Merrill, but
Manny, I don't know if you've noticed it. You and I have been pretty much on the same page on the upsets almost the whole bracket.
yeah,
You
Stout's
know,
just
If Merrill doesn't lose at Big 12s, I mean, I think he was like the 2 seed or something. He's probably the 4 seed at this tournament.
yeah. Merrill's just it's like he could win a lot of 1 point tight matches or lose two of them and he's out right away. Like it's kind of hard
Yeah.
to predict how he's going to do. And I think if he faces like a Pennsylvania kid, Pitt kid, where he's probably going to have the edge on the mat, I would think, and even defensively, it's going to be a tough match for Merrill to pull off.
Merrill gets most of his offense off reattacks,
Yeah.
which actually isn't a bad matchup against Stout. It isn't. Merrill also has been riding guys this season. He's won several matches by just riding a guy. I don't. I just still feel like Stout's got a little bit more. It can go either way, but that's just who I have.
Who do you guys have getting third?
I have
Novak.
Novak. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
out of the
yeah, we already
six
talked about
or the
that.
five, out of the five,
Yeah.
could be Sasso. Um, Little's always banged up. We'll see how he does, but yeah, I have Novak. I just like the way he looked.
Yeah. Yeah, Little's down for the war though. I mean, he always has like a jacked up forehead and has to get gable wrapped. Manny, do
Yeah,
you call it gable wrapping or what do you call it?
Head rat.
Head wrap, yeah. And then
yeah,
when that move when you're on top and you hook the ankle with your leg, what is that called?
Ankle ride.
Yeah.
I like
What do you
that.
call him?
I think I called it an Iowa ride once, and you're like, "Why do you call it that?"
Oh, sounds
What do
about
you
right.
call what do you call the tilt where you grab the wrist, the cross wrist, and roll through?
Roll through tilt.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I call it a roll through tilt as well.
I mean, that's a Bakersfield thing, you
What
know.
do you call it?
I mean, I always called it a roll through tilt, and then I came to Bakersfield, and everybody was calling it Mendoza. You know, what's really funny is Trent, one of our youth coaches, he was our first state champ, Trent Tracy, but that was like one of his best moves, and you know, he grew up calling it the Mendoza because he's a Bakersfield guy. But he was teaching it at a practice, and he kept calling it Mendoza. And he's all right, hey, like you guys need to look it up, like look up our techniques at home on YouTube and watch guys like hitting it. And one of the parents was like messaging Trent like I keep looking up the Mendoza tilt and I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
I don't call it ankle pass Avis roll either. I just call it ankle pass.
Yeah.
California roll?
No, it's not a sushi style.
Yeah, I'd say that's sushi, dude.
I mean, man, I know you're
Yeah,
not in Bakersfield anymore, but I know you still represent, right?
We're twinning here.
hell yeah. Hell
Still,
yeah.
All right,
I
Carlo, your
like that.
turn.
still got all
I
my
got
gear.
a I came from church, so I'm wearing the polo. I
All
like
right,
that.
one more wait. And then I got a barbecue to go to, so no
Let's do
rush.
it.
But
Let's do it. Who do you got?
Let's run it.
uh, yeah, I mean, this is like I trust Carlo with this information, but I think Trumbull is going to make a good run. I think he potentially takes out Bastida in the finals.
I'm gonna
I
go
think a
with
lot of people have
Bastida.
Trumbull.
I'm gonna go with Bastida just because I haven't seen any different, but I'm sure Trumbull's capable. I just haven't seen him this year at heavyweight against a lot of top guys. Not saying he can't win, but just wish I'd seen him tested a little bit more. But yeah, he's good. I watched him once against might have been Virginia Tech against was that Mullen, Jimmy Mullen, and he beat up
Yeah.
Mullen pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Um,
Dude, Northwestern has had some good guys. They just like have migrated across the country,
was he a Northwestern guy?
wasn't he?
Maybe.
Or maybe I'm thinking Macmillan.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know.
Now I'm tripping.
McMullen?
But separate from that, then still it's still kind of the case.
I agree with Manny again. I think it's Trumbull, Bastida, and this is another just heart pick. I just want to see Bastida finally get over the hump. He's had some terrible postseasons, and I'd like to see him have a season where he goes out on top. He's just freaking so good. He's so athletic for a big guy. He's so hard to take down. He's tricky. Trumbull's a freaking horse, though. He grew into this weight class because he was a 97 kilo guy just a year or two ago, right?
Yeah.
Um, maybe just last year, I think. And he's just been putting on size like a crazy guy. So, I mean, it could go either way. I want to see Bastida win, so I have Bastida. And I have, interestingly, Mirasola from Penn State. If he loses to Keeter, he doesn't AA. If he beats Keeter, I have Mirasola AAing out of the 9 seed, I guess.
I mean, he could potentially have a Hopkey on the backside.
Yeah, I don't mind that matchup.
They stole that, but somehow Keeter kind of handled them at Big Tens, which surprised me.
Yeah.
But I still just think about it, and I think Marisol is better. But I don't know.
Yeah,
So
he's good. He just doesn't have the horsepower right now. Like his technique is good, his motor's good. Like he passes the eye test. He just doesn't have the strength to back up his technique. But if he wrestles a very disciplined match, he can beat everybody probably except for like the top 3 or 4 guys.
I
He
mean,
can beat
his
everybody
match in the
else.
duel with Gadiali, I thought was
Gadali. I thought was a good match.
Hmm.
Gadali just kind of looked like he was running out of steam at the end.
Yeah,
who you
but
gonna
you
make
think
it?
about like, go ahead.
I was wondering who you have making the semi against Bastida.
I'm gonna
Ferrari.
go Feldman. I'll go Feldman.
Or I don't think Feldman's been able to be competitive with Ferrari. I think Ferrari's been able to kind of use his palm strike to the face to keep Feldman away.
Well, Feldman beat him early in the year, but I think Ferrari's beat him the
Yeah,
last 2 times.
yeah, yeah,
Was that
yeah.
at National
It's a
Duels
coin
he beat
flip.
him?
Yeah, Feldman beat him in national duels.
Yeah.
Yep. I got Tay, Trumbull, Feldman, Bastida, but yeah, AJ could win. He's a winner. So
Yeah, he'll win the Grammy match. He'll tight waist ankle a guy 50 times out of bounds to get the riding point. Win.
yeah,
Yeah.
spiral ride you out of bounds, ankle ride you out of bounds,
There's going to
10,
be
15
a
second chunks.
hamstring, some injury time at some point.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I mean, he'll win a Grammy match, which you got to win a bunch of those here. So
I mean, yeah, AJ is grimy.
yeah,
He's
right
grimy
in his
boy.
wheelhouse.
Trying to think of some other good ones. I haven't watched Nathan Taylor wrestle a whole lot, but he's coming in as a 6 seed. I mean, I have Godali winning that one, but I think it's more just like there's I don't know if it's just because they're good wrestling, obviously because of Big 12s and Big 10s, but
definitely favor those guys, I think, in a lot of these potential toss up matches.
He's good. I don't think he beats Tay. I think he probably all AA though.
Yeah, I think the 6 seed is fairly accurate from. He's good. I don't know if he beats Dolly, but if he did, it wouldn't completely surprise me. I just don't see it, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
but yeah, I see him coming back through the backside and placing.
Manny, did you say who you had between Feldman and AJ?
No, I don't know. I'm probably just gonna take AJ since he seems to have figured him out here at the end, but I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if he got beat. I mean, you would think seeing that matchup, all they're doing is working on getting away or figuring out a way around what he does because he's pretty specific what he does. So it wouldn't
Yeah,
surprise me if they figured out a good game plan for him.
yeah, yeah. They're pretty smart coaches.
Yeah,
Uh, is Nebraska gonna have another run like they did last year? They had a good Big Ten, I felt like.
that's a great question, actually.
I
I
mean,
didn't see last year
we can
coming.
switch to that if you want to talk about team stuff.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming last year. And to be honest, if anything, I always kind of thought Nebraska wrestled down at NCAA as they'd come in with some high seeded guys and kind of not
Yep.
perform to that. So
Yeah.
it caught me off guard. Um, I don't know if it's a one time deal or something they figured out here going forward where they can peak here, but I think it's probably tougher to replicate it year after year. I don't think maybe they have the run they did, but they'll still, I mean, probably still get a trophy. I mean, who they'd have to finish ahead of Oklahoma State. Who else is in the hunt?
Ohio State,
Ohio State.
Iowa State,
Okie
I think
State.
is right behind him.
So
Okie State, I think.
who would you say is top four? Obviously, Penn State. Who you putting number two?
Ohio State.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put them, and then I have Oklahoma State getting third, and now I'm gonna say Iowa State potentially gets fourth
I
over
feel like
Nebraska.
Iowa State's banged up. I think
Yeah.
Nebraska's gonna be. I think there's a lot of potential for either Nebraska to outperform. I think it's gonna be hard for Oklahoma State to outperform. Um, I think Ohio State's kind of locked into second. They have to do really poorly to not take second. But third place is getting third and fourth are going to kind of be a crapshoot. I'd favor slightly Nebraska and then probably Oklahoma State. But yeah, when I look at kind of how the seeds shook out, like Oklahoma State has so many guys on the bubble, like Merrill's seventh or eighth, I think seventh, and Facundo's like seventh or eighth, and Swiderski's eighth, and Spratley's like I think he's at the top. He's in the top half, so he has to wrestle Robinson, who he's lost to, and then he has to beat Lilladal to outperform. So they got some kind of tough draws, and they're in a lot of do or die positions where they're not favored to make the semis, so they're going to have to wrestle a lot of blood matches. So Oklahoma State's going to have a hard time outperforming. I think Nebraska, like you have Minto, who's a third seed, who we all think is going to make the finals. And they have a couple other weights like that as well. Allred could outperform again, possibly as a low seeded guy. AJ could beat Feldman and make the semis. He's supposed to, I guess. And Taylor's the same thing, he can make a deep run. So we'll see. But I think Nebraska probably has more upside a little bit than Oklahoma State.
I mean, you could talk about Troy Spratley at 125s. I think, like we've already talked about Merrill at 97s. I mean, there's a chance he doesn't quite make it. I don't think Zach Ryder's totally healthy, but even if he can just win a couple matches, he'll outperform his seed.
What do you guys think about Cornell's
Yeah,
potential?
Who do you think? Say that again, Manny.
Cornell. What do you
they're going to have a
Oh,
think?
hard time outperforming their seed. Like
Yeah.
Ruiz is seeded second, Shapiro's seeded third, Ferrara's seeded like fourth or fifth or something like that. He's seeded pretty high.
Joy's
Um,
gonna need to get second, which I mean that's gonna be a tough path for
yeah.
him.
And I think I had most of their guys getting upset. So just like on my bracket, I have them underperforming. But what's his face? Well, I can't remember the coach's name. He's a great coach. Gray.
Oh
Gray
yeah,
does
Mark
a
Graham.
yeah, he
I
does
like.
a yeah, he does a really good job peaking his guys and getting him ready for the NCAA. So He could easily prove me wrong. I just think that their guys are like the body of their work and just kind of where they're at in the bracket. They're kind of set up more probably for underperformance and overperformance. Because usually their guys aren't like Vito, like went into the NCAA tournament seeded like third or something like that or fourth and won it. Like their guys are usually like, all right, you can see Vito making a run and winning it, even though he's at the third or fourth seed. Um, Usually they're kind of in that position, but this year they're not in that position. This year Ruiz is seated second. It's gonna be hard to outperform that. Joy seated second. It's gonna be hard to outperform that. Um, it kind of goes. Shapiro seated third. It's gonna be hard to outperform that.
I like what two teams that I think have kind of caught my eye a little bit that have made a lot of progress. Arizona State is probably at the top of my list. I think of where they maybe started the year. I mean, I think that everybody
Yeah.
kind of knew like the Larkin brothers are going to be tough, but like, I mean, I think Pearson Mamble can get some wins. Zuba, I think came from Ryder. He's another guy that I think we didn't really talk about at heavyweights, but trying to remember who he
Yeah.
has to wrestle on the backside. Connor Dossett. I mean, that could be a kind of a spicy match. I mean, I think both guys are going to lose to Trumbull, but I mean, he could be an All American, which he's not favored to do. And then you know, guys like Pearson Manville, and then Nico Ruiz had a great Big 12 tournament, taking out
Uh-huh.
Watkins. So I mean, they're kind of piecing things together at the right time, which is pretty cool. Same thing with Stanford. Stanford's got some guys too, where you know, if you look at maybe the recruiting class, like last couple of years, guys coming in, were they supposed to be this good right away? Like, I don't think a lot of people are saying Posada was going to be a potential All-American, you know, coming into college, but here he is.
He's a number one or two guy in the country coming in at his weight. But yeah, I
Really?
agree. I think yeah,
Huh.
yeah. He was a Fargo champ um
At 215s
I
though.
and a Super 32 champ, I think. Um, yeah, I mean, whatever. But he also has that frame to be athletic at that weight. I think Stanford. You brought up Stanford. Stanford probably is the team that has the best chance of really overperforming and shining at the end of the NCAA tournament with how they finish. I think Provo, Posada,
Cardenas.
Cardenas, yeah, they all have a chance of making a good run. Aiden Valencia, I have Aiden Valencia
Mhm.
AA, and I think he's not seeded to AA. So
They could
Yeah.
sneak into the top 10 for sure.
Knox. I
Oh
know it's a
yeah.
tough weight, but Knox.
Knox, yeah,
He's got puncher's chance.
yeah,
Yep.
he's gonna have a hard time. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have to. You think about it, Ayala and Bird are gonna be like fifth, sixth, or something like that, maybe sixth, seventh, because you have Larkin in there as a fifth guy. Um, and someone's gonna have to get that eighth spot. If Lark, I don't know where Knox falls in the bracket. I'd have to go back and look actually, but he's gonna have to have like I hate doing this, but sometimes it does come down to where you fall in the bracket at certain weights. So if Knox falls in the right spot in the bracket, he could definitely A. Which no, I have him wrestling Larkin on the bubble. I have Larkin winning. He's gonna have a hard time.
A couple other teams I think can do some damage if things go well. And I don't remember all their spots in the bracket, but NC State and Virginia Tech, I think, have capable guys that can make some runs and can maybe do some damage. But like you said, just kind of where their matchups fall. It's gonna be a big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah, some of their
yeah.
seeds, I think what the tough thing about the ACC schedule and same thing with the Ivies is just they haven't been able to get super high level matchups. I listened to that interview with Tony Roby on the Bader show, and his thing is just like trying to get at least one big duel, two or three duels in total, like outside the conference, and then trying to have at least a big one at home. And they were able to get that matchup with Oklahoma State, which I think for some of their guys, I mean, that's kind of why they're seated the way they are right now, is because they had, you know, big wins other than their conference meets. But you know, I think I'm really impressed. Like I'm excited for like their future. You know, I'm excited for Virginia Tech and their recruiting class coming in. You got Melvin Miller, I think, is a class behind Bassett, and then you got Rocha. There's a couple other guys, maybe that I can't think of off the top of my head, but I mean, they're going to be good the next couple of years. Possibly a trophy team. I don't know if they'll be a trophy team, but
Think so. If all those guys just kind of live up to what they are right now, right in high school, I think they would be.
I mean, where are they going to end up? Like a four? They're going to get fourth or three?
Maybe.
I mean,
Yeah, they're
that's
gonna have
kind
a
of
hard
like the
time
ceiling
beating
for some of
Oklahoma
those
State.
teams.
They're
Do
not,
what?
I mean, they're gonna have a hard time beating Oklahoma State because Oklahoma State has a fairly comparable freshman class over this year and next year coming in with the Rainies and I always forget the heavyweight's name from Iowa. Um, what's the
Deshaun,
guy's name?
Not Mako.
Deshaun
Mako?
Ross. No,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Deshaun,
yeah. Oklahoma State, yeah.
Drayshawn. And
Yeah.
I've been really high on Drayshawn this last year. I keep telling people he's gonna be the next Gable Stevenson. Um, different
Now, if
skill
Kobe
set,
Merrill's
but
got something to say about it.
I no, dude. I think Drayshawn, just the way he's built it and just the eye test, he's so freaking good. He's gonna be really good. He's gonna be like a couple time national champ, maybe more. Um,
What a
I
good
think
pickup
all
for them, though, by the way, especially like going into Iowa and like getting them.
yeah, yeah. I mean the David Taylor effect.
yeah.
But anyways, I think Virginia Tech's gonna be fighting for a third, fourth. Um, and Ohio State's always gonna be competitive too. But yeah, Virginia Tech's ceiling is I don't think they're gonna be beating Penn State. They have too many good young guys right now.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about Penn State too is like I think a lot of times we have in our minds like, okay, well, they have this ranked recruiting class or whatever, but I think the way that Penn State recruits is not necessarily looking at, okay, there's a number next to this guy's name. I just listened to I like watching other sports and coaches and stuff, but like Kurt Signetti, somebody asked him a question where it's like, what's going to be your recruiting strategy when you're at Indiana? Are you going to be recruiting like X amount of 5 stars, or are you going to be looking at the transfer portal? And it's like, I don't even look at the stars next to a kid's name. I just watch and see if they pass the eye test and if they fit into what we expect as a program. I think Penn State's kind of the same way. It's like they're going to get some really high level guys, but they're also going to get guys that maybe are not like super highly touted, but guys that are going to develop.
Yeah, that'll be the interesting part. Development, right? That's always the mark. Who's going to get developed? I mean, that kind of goes back to the Virginia Tech argument. Like, how much more are you going to develop Bassett?
Carini.
Like Seidel, Carini could develop. He's got a lot of upside. I think Miller can too, if he comes out of high school next year. But Seidel is like he's in a tough spot unless he moves up a weight. Um, they're just like Bo Bassett's coming in already pretty polished. Seidel's already his ceiling's already pretty. I wouldn't say pretty maxed out, but like he's already pretty good. It's gonna be hard to squeeze out that much more ability out of him. Ventreska's Ventreska. He's got one more year. Um, he's gonna have a hard time moving up in finishes. Uh, who else do they have? They have Sasso, or is that Cornell?
No,
It's
they have
that's
Sasso.
Virginia Tech. He can develop for sure. He's had a great second half of the season. Um, but yeah, it'll be a mixed bag of development. Some of these guys come into college and are already so college ready. It's really hard to get to that next level. But I mean, Penn State does it. Why can't Virginia Tech do it?
True. True, true, true. Well, do you guys have anything else before we close out?
Shout out to Elite Force getting 15 medals, most we ever got. USA Wrestling, Folk Style State.
Do we get more than Granite Hills? That's the big question.
Yeah, those texts yesterday, I was fighting the urge to text back, but try to keep everything classy.
Yeah. Well, I'm a very classy guy, as you guys both know. My pinky's in
Yeah,
the air always.
we'll send him over a bottle of House Red next time we see him.
Manny, you got anything else? Man, are you going to go to the tournament?
Yeah, I'll be there. Flying out Wednesday. Should be a good one. I'm excited.
So if you're watching the show or listening and you see Manny Rivera there, he loves taking photos with strangers. So if you see him,
Shout out Simple Man to grab him and take a photo.
Manny, it was good talking to you, man. Good seeing you.
Yeah, great
That was
seeing you.
fun. Yeah, fun pod.
All right, guys.
All right, later, boys.